How's everybody doing tonight? Well, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So I wanted to go ahead and start a little bit early here. Let me get all my equipment running here. Come on now. Run, doggone you. There we go. All right. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I think it's overdue time that I do a live chat here answering some questions about the video I made of getting your own authority. It seems to be a very, very popular topic. Sorry, I'm still trying to get all my everything running here. There we go. There we go. Answer some questions about this. Still getting tons of questions about it. So, what better way to do this? I dropped the link here. I'll drop it again in the comments. If anybody wants to come in with me live here, all you have to do is click on that link in the comments. All I ask is you have something to talk about, you have a question, and I do request that you show your face because I don't need somebody coming in here blank and then putting something stupid on the screen. So I have to be able to see your face, have something to ask or talk about. That's all I ask. We're going to go through a bunch of things here tonight. I'm gonna read some questions right from the comments of the video. Oh boy, thank you, Fate Truckin', $10 super chat channel member. Thank you, sir. Too kind of you. Must have all kinds of money. Cash is King Trucks in here. Channel member, appreciate that. I don't promote the channel members. I did it once. Somebody had a cow about it. If you're looking for it, and the link of any of the videos there, right next to the name, there's a join button. I explained what's that all about. We'll come back to that maybe a little bit later. But yeah, so we're gonna do some Q&A here. I will start. Let me pull up the video here, and I'm gonna go right from the comment section. We'll get started, and then I'll go through comment. I'll also go through comments in the chat here. Well, let me start there first, so I don't miss anybody if they got to bounce. Thanks everybody for your support. Jerome Jones says, "Big money. How you doing, Jerome?" I don't know. I've been around a little bit. I see you calling everybody big money in their live chats. I thought I was special, but apparently that's your. I see you throwing that name out for just any old person. So I'm gonna request. I guess I got to have my own special name. Big Dog Trucker in house says he loves the live chats. Thank you. I should do more of them, and I think I might. Cattle hauling with Lone Star. There's some channels in here. Cattle hauling with Lone Star is one. Cash is King Trucking one. Anybody that has a channel, feel free to drop your link. Go ahead and everybody support them and check them out. All right, first question here. AB says, "Do I need some type of permit to deliver to New Jersey, like a business permit? Also, does Washington State require permit like Cali in Oregon, and New Mexico?" Well, first off, I have to apologize. I've been informed repeatedly that I say Oregon wrong. I've been asked to stop saying it, actually. Oregon, what's the difference? Who cares? Do you need some type of permit to deliver to New Jersey? No, you do not need a special permit. Now, that being said, New Jersey does have an alcohol permit. So if you're going to pick up or deliver beer or some kind of alcohol in New Jersey, you do need a New Jersey alcohol or beer permit. Forget the formal name of it. That's a good topic for a video. Let me write that down quick. New Jersey is one of the easiest beer permits to get. Comdata has a service. You can go on the Comdata website, use their permitting service for alcohol, and you can get a New Jersey beer permit on the spot. Many other states, not so easy. Some easy, some not easy. New York, a beer permit can take a couple weeks. Same with Virginia. So that's one. Now, that being said, if you are picking up a load in New Jersey and delivering it in New Jersey, which is intrastate, you may need an intrastate authority for New Jersey. I cannot remember if New Jersey is a free state or not. Refer back to my intrastate video for that one. Other than that, I don't really know of any special permits you need for the state of New Jersey. Chat jumped on me here a little bit. Let me go back. Thanks again, Fate Trucking. Appreciate it. Watch out, there's trucks behind me. Yeah, but they're parked on the fuel island. They're probably sleeping or in taking a shower, so they're going to be here there a while. I don't think anybody's gonna run me over. Trucking Up says, "What's up? Thanks for coming in." Yep, there you go. I'm blocking the fuel island like everybody else. Early Bird, hello from Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Well, thanks for coming in. The Place and Freeway Chat. I'm seeing a lot of new names in here tonight. Thanks everybody for coming in. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I dropped the link here. Anybody's welcome to come in if they want to ask me directly or have a short conversation. I can't sit here and help you build your whole business all night. We can answer some basic questions. If you need more one-on-one attention, we could possibly arrange that. I've done a couple of those so far. I just started that in the membership section. Didn't think anybody would ever sign up for it. Never expected any. I've had 2 people sign up, and we did a couple meetings. The guy kind of just wanted to use the first one to ask some basic questions. The second guy that did it, we got into some good details, and it went great. Oh man, I think we saved that guy a bunch of money. I still don't expect anybody to do it, but if you need some hours of one-on-one time and need to get very specific, we can set that up. It's just go into channel memberships, get the I think it's trucking with all access or something like that. Because time is valuable. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. Oh, I recognize this name. I just don't know how to say it. Roby Miami. There we go. It says, hello here from Florida. Question: try to buy a truck and they charge me 6% sales tax. The truck will be more than 80% OTR. Should I pay? You will have to get a Florida tax exempt. Okay, the sales tax question. This is very much a state issue. Okay, every state is entitled to set their own sales tax rates and rules. I can't possibly know all 50 of them. I'm sorry. I know a good bit of them. Well, a handful, a dozen or so, pretty well. Florida, I do not know. Georgia, I know a little bit. So what you're looking for on that Florida tax exempt form would be something related to trucking, like rolling stock. Okay. Actually, I may have answered this question in the comments. I don't know. One just like it. I know I recently answered something referring to trucks, trailers, and equipment. What a lot of states call rolling stock. Okay. In some states, maybe only parts are sales tax exempt, parts and service. In a lot of states, maybe only the truck itself is sales tax exempt. In some states, nothing is sales tax exempt at all. So you gotta do a search here. I can try to do that a little later offline here. And Roby Miami, email me DIYSimi@yahoo.com. If I get time, I'll try to look into that for you. But anyway, if you have a question about a state, pull that state's specific sales tax exemption form. That's what you want to Google search is Florida sales tax exemption form. Print out the form. Most states have exemptions for something one way or another along the line, whether it's charitable organizations like churches or public service, police, fire departments, stuff like that. There'll be several sections on that form. Look for one that refers to trucking, transportation, or something called a rolling stock. Okay. The dealer should, if you bought it from a dealer, the dealer should be able to answer that question for you. If you bought it privately, they probably cannot. But definitely look into it because 6% on, I don't know, however much you paid, 50,000. You're still talking about a considerable amount of money. Hello from Sheboygan. Well, hello there, neighbor. Thanks for coming on in, Paul Chapa Sr. Skinny Peters wants me to dance for him. That ain't going to happen. I danced last night at a wedding reception and I met my quota for the year. That is it. This chat keeps jumping on me. Let me go back a little bit here. Where did we leave off here? All right. Tolga says, "Oi there, folks. Thanks for coming in. Can I make money in a day cab?" Oh, you absolutely can. Michael White, can I make money in a day cab? Certainly, especially right now. I tell you what, if there was ever a time to try it, it is right now. Places need freight moved. Oh, jeepers. Somebody sent me, it was either in the comment section of a video or maybe another video I was watching. They have a day cab and they leased it on to. They have their own authority. They leased it on to somebody. Old, wasn't Old Dominion or Yellow. God, I got to go back and try to find that. Maybe it was in somebody's videos I was watching. Anyway, the company that they leased it onto is 6 months behind on their freight schedule. So they're taking on owner operators, people with their own authority to come in, help out as much as or as little as you can. They don't really care. They need some freight moved, and perfectly happy to have day cabs do it. There's a lot of places for day cabs all over the place, man. Don't let that scare you at all. And actually, day cabs are something I see for sale all over the place right now. Well, it's hard to find sleeper cabs and trailers, any kind of trailer. Day cabs still seem to be pretty plentiful. So that doesn't mean they aren't expensive. They're just, saying that they can be had. Skinny Peter says he told his wife 5G causes syphilis. I hope she buys it. I hope for your sake. Otherwise, you're looking at some alimony and child support there, Mr. Peters. All right, Sal, sole operator, says, thinking about getting my own authority at the end of the year. You say that you've only been burned by a broker once. What is your vetting process for brokers? What do you use to run a credit check? Good question. That's a great question. I should do a video about that. Let me write it. I'm going to make some notes along the way here of some questions that people want to ask or see. Okay, first thing you can do, number one, ask for references. When you're hauling for somebody new, don't be afraid to ask them for some trade references and call them, check them out. Next thing you can do is on DAT. If you ever notice on DAT, the little green check mark down at the bottom, I hear tell that's going away though. I don't know what's up with that. I need to look into that. Little green check mark usually means they're approved by a TIAA. So some factoring companies look at that and say, okay, they're accepted by factoring. If the factoring vets people, good enough for me. I don't really like to do it that way. If you have a factoring company, I do not factor. I have never factored, but I have recently signed up with a factoring company, partially for this reason. This is one reason, so I can run more credit checks, and the second reason being that we've added trucks, the amount of money here is getting large, and I might eventually need to factor something. So if I do, I wanted to have it in place right when I needed it, rather than have to go through the process and wait. So your factoring company can run all these credit checks for people. Okay, Dun and Bradstreet, I wouldn't go by that, because you can get a brand new Dun and Bradstreet number, and unless people are reporting to it, I don't find it to be all that helpful unless it's on a established business that's been around a long time. I'm not against having a Dun and Bradstreet number. I think if you're in this for the long term, you should get one. But you can get a Dun and Bradstreet number on a brand new business that has never done a single transaction. I know because I've done that. So I don't look much to that. And about getting burned by a broker, keep on it. If you have somebody that's overdue, you got to hound them, man. You got to be proactive. And if you don't think you're going to get paid, you file on that bond immediately, because what happens is other people are filing on that bond too, and it's pretty much first come first serve. I filed on that broker's bond, and it was exhausted by the time I filed, so I got nothing. Lesson learned. I'm glad it was only a $800 or $900 freight bill, and it was quite some time ago. There we go. Cattle with Hauling with Lone Star dropped the link. Check out that channel. Appreciate it. D-Guyver in the house. Thanks for coming in. Best or favorite GPS to use? That's kind of off topic, but I just prefer Garmin because I like the interface. I hear there is some better ones out there. It's personal preference, man. It's personal preference. 702 trucker. Do box trucks need UCR and BOC3? Okay. This is a popular question in the actual video comments, so let's talk about this one right away. The answer is it depends. It depends. So BOC3 goes with motor carrier authority, something you need to have to get your MC number, motor carrier authority. So first you got to ask yourself, what am I doing with the box truck? Are you crossing state lines? That's a big factor in this answer. If you're crossing state lines, you have to have an MC number. If you're hauling freight across state lines, okay? If you're therefore, you would absolutely need to have a BOC3 to make your MC number go active. If you're not crossing state lines, never going to, a US DOT number and your whatever state you're in, their intrastate authority. Like if you're in California, you're never going to leave California. You would just get a CA number. California's intrastate authority is called a CA number. Okay. UCR. Do you still need a UCR if you're not crossing state lines? You know what? That's a good question. I'd have to think about that one. I've not considered that. I'd probably get it. I probably would get it, but I don't take that to heart. I got to look into that one. Tell you the truth, because UCR replaced the single state registration. I don't know how much, 6-7 years ago. Used to be that instead of UCR, you had every state had what was called a single state registration. You had to also register your vehicle in the state the vehicle was going to be based in. They got rid of that, replaced it with the UCR. I would say probably yes, probably, but don't quote me on that one. Okay. Now, also a popular question from the comments is, I have a box truck. It's non-CDL or hotshot non-CDL. I am not all that familiar with the non-CDL world and the rules, so that's probably best asked to a hotshotter or somebody who does, small box truck where it's well under CDL rules. I don't know. I know, if you cross state lines hauling freight, then you're back into that MC thing. So that's a big deciding factor. Doug Hemsworth wants to know, are masks required in here? I prefer you put one on, not because I'm scared of catching anything for you, but I have seen you and your face scares me, Dud. Appreciate that. The chat jumped on me again. Let me go back. Stand by. Okay, here we go. Why am I trying to make money? Because that's what I do. Let's see here. Alex says, how many hours do you run your reefer before PM? The dealer for carrier said 1,500 hours. That seems excessive. The newer units are designed for 3,000 hour service intervals. The newer carriers, I believe the Thermo Kings are right around the same. My newer units, I don't necessarily like to let them get to 3,000 hours. After, I don't want to go more than 2,500 hours. And I use synthetic AMSOIL in mine, and I also use the Infinity Lube. But it's not necessarily about the oil part of it is cheap. The filter, it takes, 15 quarts of oil. That's not that expensive. I oftentimes would do it myself. Part of the reason I want to now is because I have other people pulling my reefers. I don't get to keep as close an eye on them, and I want somebody's eyes on it now and then. The drivers, they check the oil. They're supposed to anyways. Check the belts, any leaks, stuff like that. But I want eyes on it, looking at that vibrosorber, looking at belts, looking for obvious signs of any problem. The other way, I had one in, and there was a couple wires rubbing that feed the controller. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily have found that. What else? Did a software update on it. But the older units, I don't know how old you have to get to be less than 3,000 hours, but 1,500 is, I would say that's probably safe for any unit out there. All right. Philip Haglund says, trucking up, been tired of it for years unless two in one spot is, oh, he's talking about bobtails stealing their parking. David Edwards stopping in. Thanks for coming in. Well, there you go. Trucking Up says Trucker Style Sean is doing it in a day cab down in Florida, running Amazon. Yeah, Trucker Style Sean. That's a good guy. That's a good channel to check out. And yeah, he's doing some shorter work down there in Florida. Plenty of people doing it. People doing it with Amazon. Not a fan of Amazon. Day cab work also. A lot of like department stores and chain stores like up here, well, all over the country now you're getting to see these Menards stores. Well, every one of them at their distribution centers, they take people that have their own authority with day cabs or sleeper cabs, whatever way you want to do it. But they'll put you to work. You hook their trailer, you go deliver, and you come back. Sometimes you bring a load back. They'll take on all the people with day cabs that want to do it. You would get into like your Targets, your whatever your hardware chains are, department stores. A lot of work doing that for day cabs also. So there's work everywhere for day cabs. You just got to think, put your mind to work, think outside the box a little bit. Well, there you go. Big Dog Trucker says Amazon can run you to death with a day cab. Plenty of short runs. Okay, I've never done the Amazon thing. When they first came out with it, I did sign up because I wanted to see what it was all about. I've never done it. I don't like Amazon as a company, but I wanted to see. I'm sure once you get used to it, you figure it out. But I find their system very unnecessarily confusing. Maybe especially for somebody new at doing it with them. Hubert Benitez says looking for a good factoring company. I signed up with Triumph. They're a good one. I got 1.99% off of somebody's deal here on YouTube. If that person's in here, they're more than welcome to drop their link. Hopefully we can do that and get some people signed up for 1.99% at Triumph. I have not really used it. Like I said, it may come to that point because we're looking at I got a lot of freight bills out every week. So and as I grow and get bigger, it's a challenge. Okay, Hubert says PDM Financial, family owned, awesome staff. There's a lot of factoring companies out there. First, check their credit. Well, they're going to check you out too, but get some references. Talk to some people. And now it's all about service. It's all about service. And please read the contract. Okay? Because there are some details in the contract you may find to be disturbing. Okay? Or fees, back charges. It's not as clean cut and simple as you might ordinary think, where you just send them your freight bills and they send you money. They hold back money, a reserve, a few percent. They can back charge you for different things. Is it recourse? Is it non-recourse? There's a lot of details you got to know, and then compare with whoever else you call. Okay. Nomadic Britain here. Thanks for stopping in. That's the channel. Go ahead and drop your link, man. What else we got here? How much can an owner-operator average net per week? Okay, Michael Rutherford. Well, isn't that the big question that everybody wants to know? Let me ask you first. When you say owner-operator, and this is not I'm not nitpicking words here. I'm asking because it's different. So, we somebody leased to a company. That's an owner-operator. If you're talking about somebody with their own authority, you're a carrier. Okay. And the reason that semantic isn't, I'm not nitpicking. The reason the semantic is important is that's partially how we got in this whole AB5 crap anyways. Okay. People, if you go around telling people you're an owner operator and you're an independent carrier, well, guess what? They're going to apply owner operator rules for you, and they might try to hold out some taxes or do some other nonsense. Make sure you start using the right words because it's becoming important. It's becoming important. Okay. We'll come back to that, Michael. Answer that question, and there's more I want to say to that later. I'm going to talk about in a little while here a little secret. It's not. I don't know. It's some of you might find it interesting, maybe not. Some of you might disagree with it. I'm sure somebody has a problem with everything, so whatever. Is Is there a way to drive in California without DEF? Drive a car. I don't know. Drive a gasoline powered vehicle. They're pretty strict about it. I don't know how hard they enforce it. I have not been to California in years. I do not do business out there anymore. For all I care, they can go away. Plenty of other places in this country. I don't need their stupidity. I got tangled up in some of their bureaucracy with permits, and they can keep it. Whatever they got out there, they can keep it. I don't need it. What else we got here? Hubert says, just got my own authority hauling reefer. What load boards take on new authority? Any load board will take you. You can call DAT, 123 load board, truckstop.com, Doft. Geez, there's tons of load boards out there. They will all take you. They're not going to turn you away. They don't care that your authority is new. Also, each broker, a lot of brokers have their own load boards. If your question, what you meant to ask was what brokers will take you with a new authority, quite a few, more than you might think. Some want 6 months, like C.H. Robinson. Amazon's going to take you with your new authority. Let's see, I know 3 Rivers. There's a bunch of them. Just ask. Call on a load and give them your MC number. See what they say. Check them off your list. Move on to the next one. All right. AB says, me and wife are independent. This is our first week and we grossed 10,000. Well, good for you. Congratulations. Well done. Keep it up. Next week, if you do that again, that's 2 weeks in a row. Talking real money. Power only. Okay. That's pretty good. Power only. It's pretty good. What else we got here? Sorry, chat jumped on me again. I got to get back. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay. UCR is not needed for intrastate. Well, there you go. Good answer right there. See? People can bring in all kinds of good information. Cash is King, channel member, looks like he's turning into an Android. Michael says, holy 10K, that's crazy. It's not crazy. I got guys hitting that all the time as solos. Pretty regular. At least once a week, somebody hits it. Sometimes I'll have 3 guys over that 10,000 mark. It's not unobtainable in this day and age. Whew, are you kidding? If you were the type that never went home and just went out and straight up ran, you could hit that. Maybe not every week, maybe 3 out of 4 weeks. Or if you have a good dispatcher, they should be able to make that happen for you. Let me jump down here, see if we can find some more questions. Let me post that link again. If anybody wants to come in, you're welcome to. All I ask is you have something to talk about and you must show your face. I don't know what's up with people that can live stream on YouTube and not show their face. It's kind of weird. It's a visual platform. I just find it odd. Can authority run under 2 separate insurances? Yes. Well, yes, it's going to get complicated, and I don't know that I would do it because, okay, for instance, you could have your primary liability with one company, and you could have your physical damage with another company. You could have your cargo with another company, each different thing. I don't recommend you do that. Number one, if you have an accident, it's going to get really complicated. These insurance companies are going to start to fight with each other. And guess what? You're going to be stuck in the middle of it. Okay. And then also, that's just more deductibles to pay. Okay. On my policy, there is a deductible for physical damage. And then the liabilities kind of work the general in the primary. I have a different kind of plan that has some different features. Let's back up and not get into that. You could increase your deductible liability, number one, by spreading everything across different companies. Number two, they're going to fight with each other. You're going to be stuck in the middle of it and not be getting results. And number three, you should, if you're with a good insurance company, you should be getting a package discount. Okay. And if you're not, ask for it, hunt around. You can get some really good packages put together when they carry everything. They can offer you things like a diminishing deductible. If you go so many years without a claim, they'll waive the deductible. Then the add-ons can be cheaper, things like that. And if you're doing all your business as one place, it's a one-stop shop. I've had times where I called up and said, hey, on one load, I need to increase my cargo up to 200,000 from 100,000. And they're happy to do it. When I needed, back when I first got a bond for Oregon, called up the insurance company and said, hey, how about you give me a $2,000 bond? They said, no problem, that'll be $100. I think service is going to be better for you. And just the main reason for me is insurance companies like to fight with each other over who's going to pay for what. So that would be a roadblock for me. Do I know of any good tanker owner operator companies? That world is foreign to me. I do not. I apologize. Tanker is something I've never done. Michael White says, "Can we talk about health insurance for owner ops? Where do I start?" Yeah. According to the comments in my video, one gentleman says, number one, health insurance is a scam, which may or may not be true. It's overpriced, if you ask me. And said that, and he also says that health insurance is not a real thing and nobody needs it. And my reply back is, I hope you never get sick. I hope you never get sick with something. I have a very good friend that developed a tumor on his spinal cord. Who the hell could have seen that coming? And that ain't nothing he did. And that's several $100,000 in surgery when you're operating on the spinal cord. Let me tell you what. But hey, I guess nobody should have health insurance. Yes, you can get health insurance. Tell you what, I'm almost tempted to make that part of a different video because that's a pretty big topic. I think we're going to do that. We're going to make that part of something else. That is a huge topic. Pop Stevens got a 81 Chevette. Can I haul freight in Atlanta area? Sure, why not? Put yourself a fifth wheel on the top of your car and hook on up. Big storm coming in the south, apparently. Nomadic Brit said, watch Cash is King. He's a ninja and makes DIY, makes some of his future vids, and DIY doesn't realize it. You got that right. He tricks me all the time. That's a good channel. Check that out. Appreciate it. That's my buddy right there. AB says for that $10,000, all the runs he did was a solo guy. He could have done them 3,700 miles. Okay, good deal. How do you get the Oregon permit without having to buy $2,000 bond? Oregon has changed all their rules. Well, number one, a $2,000 bond will not cost you $2,000. You're welcome to put up that $2,000 yourself. You should be able to get an Oregon bond for about $100. You get that from your insurance company or any bond company out there, like Bonding Solutions. I just called my insurance company. Say, hey, and they're like, yeah, no problem, just $100. And then, okay, so I bought the bond, and that's the last time I ever bought it. I didn't even have to do it again the next year. After I put it up the first time, and Oregon saw that, okay, the guy's he's filing his returns, he's paying the amount of money he owes. We're waiving it. I got a letter in the mail that said your bond is waived. You no longer need it. And they moved me from filing monthly to being able to file quarterly. So Oregon is way more complicated than it needs to be. Okay. Now with Oregon, you go on their website. You got to find the application for an account. It's going to ask you for what is your CCD number. Is the number that they want. Well, you don't have a CCD number because you don't have an account number yet. So you fill out the form and check the box that says new applicant. Okay. Then the CCD part, you leave that blank. Fill that out, send it in. They will open your account. and assign you a CCD number, which is your account number. Now, there's going to be some more steps. They're going to want some copies of maybe your articles of organization, and they may request some documents from you. Okay, then you get a Oregon account. You can start getting your own permits. All right, you can do trip permits to a certain extent without getting crazy. So if you call in and say, "This is my first time in Oregon. I need a trip permit," they'll get all your information. They'll issue you the permit. They'll figure out how they need to know how many miles you're going to put on. You got to tell them this and that. They'll calculate it. You'll pay the tax right then and there. So they'll give you the permit. Without knowing it, that will get you a CCD number. You'll have an account number. You can only buy so many Oregon temporary permits before they say, "Hey, Jack, you need to get your own account and a permit here." Now, they don't really do the yearly permit thing anymore. Once you get an account, you go in there and you add your truck and you enroll it in the program. Okay. And once you enroll the truck in the program, it is in there until you take it out. Now, once you do that, you have to keep up on your quarterly filings, or if you've not yet achieved the status where you can file quarterly, you're gonna have to keep up and do it monthly. So there's that. We got somebody coming in here, but it looks like his device is not active. So WC Finvader, go ahead and try that again. Click that link again. Oh, what else we got here? Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe. We don't have merch yet. We're working on it. Consider a membership if you want to support the channel. It's completely up to you. Greg Hayes says, "Hi all, getting my MC and jumping into the owner operator world. Hey Brett, how's the freight race going?" All right, welcome to the game here, Mr. Hayes. Is it ducking around? Says it good to lease a trailer? It's not. It's neither good nor bad. Does it suit the purpose of what you need it for? You need a trailer, but you don't need it long term. Lease it. Can't find a trailer that you need? You can lease one. Leasing is a more expensive way to own a trailer. There's different stipulations. There's full service leases. There's leases where you pay a payment and then the maintenance is on you. The devil's in the details. There's some really bad leases out there. You can be paying a lot of money to fix somebody else's trailer. So read the contract. I'm a big fan of buying one, owning and controlling your own assets if you can. You're putting money towards something that you own. Let's see. Atkins. Atkins, $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've heard you say how getting your own authority is a big deal. I've been a driver for 10 years, just got my first truck in January and got my own authority. Just doesn't seem to be that big of a deal to me. What am I missing? Are you doing all your quarterly filings, keeping up on your permits? You got your driver qualifications under wraps? You got everything squared away? You got your drug testing squared away? Have you had any negative things happen? Any kind of insurance or freight claim where you're the one on the hook for thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars? Everything is great with your own authority until something is not. That's why I say it's a big deal. I don't tell people they should or should not. I want to give them the information, have them make their own decision. What I want people to know is the level of responsibility that you're taking on. Have you had, I don't know if you're power only for somebody or if you have your own trailer. Have you had a situation yet where you're under an important load and you break down and you fail somebody and have to take that kind of heat? Have you had somebody not pay you? Have you had, there's a lot. So I'm not trying to discourage you. Yeah, I'm just saying, and you asked the question, what am I missing? Make sure you're in compliance. Please make sure you're in compliance. Don't get crossways with the IRS or any state Department of Revenue. They do not play. They do not play. Oh, okay. Had a private chat message there come in. Nomadic Brit says, may I mention about a vid I've done? Go ahead. Mention your video. Drop your link. Definitely. You're a friend of the show. Go ahead and do that. Anybody in here that has a channel, you go right ahead and drop your link. Alex says, the infinite lube liquid, do you add an entire bottle for your Detroit every PM? It's more than one bottle. Well, if you get the big bottle, then it's not quite a full bottle. If you're talking about the little bottles, it's more than one bottle. But yeah, I do it every time. Someone here's got the Garmin 780 diesel. Follow it blindly and you will end up in a pickle. I don't doubt that. You should never, ever follow any GPS blindly. Ever. You should have an atlas and know how to use it. You should know to make phone calls, ask directions, all kinds of things. Google Maps is your friend. How do I feel about leasing with Lone Mountain? You know, that's a great question. I don't fault anybody for any deal that they make. It may sound like, I have been critical of lease purchases. Hey, if that's what you do, good on you. That's your own deal. I just want to see you do the best you can do. Okay, so just because I'm negative about something doesn't mean I hate it. Whatever. I just sometimes think there's a better way to do it. Lone Mountain, I'm not opposed to that. First, I would rather, if you're going to lease onto a company, I would rather see you go get your own truck from Lone Mountain than to lease purchase a truck from a mega carrier. I don't care if it's more expensive. It won't be. I'll tell you right now, it won't be. But what it will be is your truck. It will be your truck when you leave. You can take it with you. You're not going to make payments on that truck for 11 months or 14 months. And then, oh, I got fired. They let me go. You just built all that equity in that truck and you're just walking away with nothing. Or if you don't like it, you can quit and leave. And not to go from one lease purchase to another over and over again is very expensive. You lose a lot of things that you've built up over that time. Excuse me. Not to mention there's probably some fees and penalties for not completing it. I know somebody personally that went through that at Schneider, and I hear people all the time going through that at Prime. Have and control your own asset. Warranty is great. Warranty is a big deal, but there are things that are just as important as that warranty. That warranty is not that warranty you're getting with that brand new truck at Prime is not free. It's in the price of the truck. Okay? Remember that. Just because you can walk in with not a penny down and get in a brand new truck and drive it does not mean you necessarily should. It might not be the best idea. Might not be the best idea. And I'm not picking on Prime. It's any of them. And once again, if you lease purchase a truck, I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying I want to see you do better. Get you a truck from Lone Mountain. They have some good trucks. I know a few people that have bought trucks there and had just great results with them. And the financing is straight up, open and honest. I also think if you're lease purchasing a truck from a mega carrier, I think you're overpaying for the truck. If you calculate, okay, here's something to do when you're looking at leasing a truck. Just for a second, allow yourself to forget about the payment, forget about the down payment, forget about everything. We want to know the total cost to own that truck, start to finish. Okay, so you need to know $1,100 a week for I don't know if it's 150 weeks, 180 weeks, whatever. Okay, it cost me that much to own this truck, $197,000. Okay, now can I go to Lone Mountain and get this same truck on the payments, whatever the interest rate, calculate out your payments. If there's a buyout at the end, if there's a down payment, put it all together. You might find at Lone Mountain that your total cost to own that truck is $130,000. Hell, you might find it's $90,000. I have seen some very expensive lease purchases out there. Okay, so I know now if the payment on that Lone Mountain truck is $100 a week higher than the Prime truck or the whatever truck, or even $200 a week higher, if that total cost of ownership for that vehicle in the end is $80,000 or less, of course I'm going to pay that $200 extra a week. In the grand scheme of things, you're way better off. That's how I'd like to see people do the math, rather than just $1,300 a week. Okay, plus you own your asset. You get to say what kind of tires go on it. You get to say what happens to it. You get to say what kind of improvements you do to it. besides that whole pride in your ride thing and it being yours, it's a smart business decision. And I really don't have a problem with Lone Mountain. I do, however, think you can still do better yet. You can do better than Lone Mountain, but I think it's a great middle in between a mega fleet lease purchase and just either just being able to go finance a truck on your own or pay cash. I think it's a very good middle ground. And there's a lot of companies out there that I think are that very good middle ground. So that's Jay Rides. I think that's a great question. I sent a guy there, two guys there, I don't know, 2 months ago. They didn't have a single truck, not one. So I don't know if you're going to get a truck from Lone Mountain. That's kind of how bad it is. Maybe they got a whole fleet in by now. I don't know, but at that point they had nothing, nada. Well, we got somebody trying to come in here. WC Finvader, go ahead and put that in your comments in the regular chat there. He wants to know, where in the world can you buy a new dry van trailer from? No trailer dealer is even accepting orders or reservations for a new trailer. That's what I've been saying, man. You can't get it. New trailer orders, the megas, they got them tied up, man. A lot of places. I know places now, their Freightliner chain here in Wisconsin won't even take orders for new trucks. They won't even take an order to be filled next year or the year after. So there's that. Okay, truck driver knows. It says DAT load board kicked out Triumph factoring from their green check approve, and DAT are using OTR factoring. Okay. Yeah, I heard that just happened, that the green check mark went away, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. So factoring also, there is promotional deals through associations and stuff. Like I did a video a long time ago on Truckers B2B. I do not have a deal with them. I don't get anything from them, but they have a discount through, I think it's Orange Commercial Credit. I don't know what that deal is, so maybe look into that. That's a great Truckers B2B. Everybody should belong to. Great discounts. You join their gold program for tires. Great discounts, especially if you're a independent or a carrier. And they have a fuel card. The discounts aren't great, I'll tell you that. But they have discounts on factoring if you have Sprint for your phone service. 10% off your DAT subscription every month. Best Pass, they have discounts on Best Pass. A lot of good discounts on there, and it's free. And I despite what everybody thinks, I do not get money. You call them up and ask them if they've ever freaking heard of me. They'll tell you no. Wayne Ford, is it good to get a trailer starting out as a new owner operator? Do what you can afford. You know, I think it's never a bad thing to have your own trailer. There's some upsides and downsides to it. Some of the downsides, well, are you talking about leased onto a company? Some of the downsides, and I'm going to assume you are, because you said owner operator. Some of the downsides are you lose the ability to drop and hook. So maybe you don't have access to some loads that you would otherwise have. Upsides, hey, it's your trailer. It probably bring you some more additional revenue per load. Another downside is maintenance. That's upside is you can make it yours. You want to trick it out with all the latest aerodynamic devices. It is yours to do that as you wish. All right. Looking for some more questions here. I think chat jumped on me again. I got to go back. Sorry about that. Well, I'm way behind, but I'm trying to answer all the questions I can here. Sorry about that. All right. Trucking Up says, yeah, they can. Oh, no, the wrong comment. Jake from State Farm says that they can keep it except their produce, right? Yep, California. There you go. Georgia Patriot says C.H. Robinson wants 30 days active. Okay, that's not too hard to achieve. 30 days is pretty reasonable. Uber and Convoy will take you at day one active. That's good to know. They got a ton of freight. Forgot about them. Coyote's 30 days active authority. How's the fleet going? It's going well. We'll get back. There's something, a little nugget I'll drop later about that, and it is in relation to having your own authority. It is pertinent. Michael says, California wants clean air, so the forest burns cleaner. That's good. That's good. What's your company called? Never. I ain't giving. We're never gonna reveal that. That's sorry. That's kind of private. We don't do that on YouTube. What's the best way to go about fighting DOT tickets? I know you can challenge violations through CSA, but people have recommended me to OOIDA for fighting tickets. I'm no longer a fan of OOIDA. Had a couple disappointing experiences with OOIDA. Kind of figured they're out for OOIDA, no longer for the independent driver, as they say. They're out to make money, and they have every right to. They're a business; they need to make money. But then don't pass yourself off. They've been on the wrong side of some legislation, also, if you ask me. But the best way to fight tickets is a lawyer. Get a lawyer, or there's that. I know my buddy Cash in here has a prepaid legal service he uses. He says he's had some great luck with them. I can't remember the name of it. Cash, if you're still in here, drop that in the comments. I'll put it on the screen. Tim Freeman says, with people pulling trucks out of the weeds, what to do with getting it road ready? You could make a video. Boy, that depends on how much it needs. Yeah, I mean, you could be in it for 100,000 or 5,000. Absolutely. Can we talk about health insurance? Okay, I will come back to that. I'm gonna write it down, and remind me later. There's so much I want to talk about. This might go on for a while if people hang in there. You're welcome to. Let me clean this up here. I got. I'm gonna a WC Finvader. I'm gonna kick you out of the backstage here because it's just not working. I'm not mad at you. I'm just doing that to clean it up here. Oh, we got Cassius King wants to come in here and talk about his prepaid legal service because he's constantly in trouble. Your mic isn't on, though, buddy. He says I can't unmute your guest. Your mic is not connected. We ain't got you. There you go.
Okay.
Come on with it.
You hear me now?
Word up.
Yeah, I don't know. Typical StreamYard. It's giving me. I've been trying to get in here for about 50 minutes now. I don't play well with StreamYard apparently. Prepaid legal. That TVC Pro driver I have, they now have kiosk in truck stops.
Okay, TVC Pro driver.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can sign up right from a kiosk. I was in the Flying J. Where the hell was that at? Going like west out of Atlanta. There was a Flying J, or maybe it was a Pilot. I can't remember. Anyway, they got a kiosk like an ATM. You go over there, punch in all your information, scan your driver's license barcode, and yeah, set you right up.
Okay. How much something like that cost? And tell us about, if you've had good results with that.
I have had really good results with it, and it is, it's like 45, $50 a month, something like that. They do have discount programs. You can get a fuel card through them. Okay. I got the fuel card through them. It's okay. It's got some good discounts at Love's. That's actually my supplemental card for when I'm not near a MUDFLAP.
Okay. 1 second. Greg Hayes, stay in here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to answer your comment here, so don't leave. Okay. Go ahead, Cash.
Yeah. They got some discount programs that help take care of the cost. Also, if you got a fleet or you're involved with a fleet, ask them about call them and getting a fleet discount. I pay like $20 a month. I get mine less than half price.
Okay. And they work it out with your carrier, just take it out of your check?
Yes, they just group it. Everybody that wants to sign up, they just sign it up.
Can they get you off the hook from having 8 pounds of marijuana in your sleeper?
You'd have to call them. You'd have to call them. I mean, they did get me out of a red light ticket,
Okay.
That was good.
You want to hang out in here while run through some questions in case you got something you want to add?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, Cash is King Trucking. Check out his channel and his other channel, also Trucking with Diabetes. There you go.
Thank
Truck
you.
right there. $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Cheeseburgers with eggs and Swiss for dinner. # no buns.
Yeah,
This ain't
I'm stuffed.
that kind of show.
I'm
All right.
stuffed.
Ooh, Zach. Ooh, you set him up. I knock him down, my friend. Let me explain that to you. Did somebody tell you to ask that? All right. Zach wants to know, can I explain ad valorem tax with IRP? All right. Ad valorem tax. Ad valorem means according to value. It's Latin for according to value. Okay. Some states have an ad valorem tax where they tax you according to the price or the value. I shouldn't say the price. I should say value of your equipment. So as it sits right now, the main one is Arkansas. Arkansas has an ad valorem tax that you will find out about if you get your own authority and file an if to return or file to be registered in Arkansas via your IRP, blah, blah, blah. They will find you and they will send you something in the mail, a form to fill out. And it's they will want to know how many miles you traveled in Arkansas for that previous year or that tax year that they're asking you about. And then they will want to know the value of your equipment, of each piece of equipment that pertains to that tax. Okay. And then they got a magic formula. They throw it in and they tax you according to the value of your vehicle. Now, if you don't have any miles in Arkansas, you're going to pay about probably $12 a year or something like that in ad valorem tax with Arkansas. The more equipment you have, the more you're going to pay. But that's how it works. Okay. And Kansas used to have one, and it was very complicated. You had to know trucks, how many miles they traveled in the state, which is not that difficult because you have IFTA. But then you also had to have trailers. You had to know how many miles each trailer traveled in Kansas. It got incredibly complicated because who keeps track of what trailer goes through doggone Kansas hooked to which trailer all year long? They finally got rid of it. Thank God. Okay. Now, some states have their own little niches with ad valorem that sometimes it only applies to corporations, or the ad valorem will only apply if you apply for a refund of sales tax. It's ridiculous. But overall, mostly the only one you're going to really run into is Arkansas. And that does not mean that your state, ad valorem is mostly a state thing, does not mean that your state couldn't ping you with some kind of ad valorem on a state level that has nothing to do with me where I am. My state does not have it. I cannot possibly know all 50 states what their tax laws are. If you have a question about that, definitely consult a tax professional. But that's what an ad valorem tax is. It's when you're taxed according to value of something. Okay. Anything I should add to that?
No, I learned some Latin today. Yeah,
that's
a good day.
We don't know a lot of Latin around here, but by gosh, we know ad valorem.
All right.
We learn Latin that will keep you out of trouble with the IRS. How about that? Or the State Department of Revenue. Greg Hayes, what do I think about fuel ox additives? I just heard about fuel ox from the Heavy Haul Nation. Well, doggone it, Greg Hayes, you should have learned about that on this channel because this is the Fuel Ox channel. I was the first one on all of YouTube, and you can even ask them because I did ask them to promote their product, talk about their product. They came on YouTube at my request. I've done several live streams with them. In fact, I did one Friday with Rand, the big wig, the big dog from over there at Fuel Ox. I'm very friendly with the people. They're great people. Their products are great. The first promotion they did on YouTube was on my channel. I use their products. I love their products. I'm very happy with them. Incidentally, if you're going to buy their products, use my promo code DIY Semi. You'll get 15% off every order forever. Watch some previous live streams. You'll learn a lot about their products, and there'll be more to come on that because I like them. And I know you've been using them, Cash.
Yeah. I used it earlier when I bought fuel. So
all right.
I put it in every time.
Cattle Hauler says 2 more days till the end of the exemption. Do you think they'll extend it? I tell you what, I think it would be a gross misjudgment if they did not. You want to talk about shortages and all that kind of whatnots, and lack of trucks, shortages of trucks. I'll tell you what, in the reefer business, I don't know if everybody does it, but the reefer business, we've been using that doggone exemption. And if each truck can haul a little less freight, hey, that's trucks off the market essentially. So freight rates will go up, but I would rather have it this way. Personally, I think they have to. Will they? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't have any faith in morons.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked back through it the other day. Every time they've extended it, it was more than a week out, except for one time they extended it on that day. So I'm still hopeful. I'm not giving up until the last minute. But
last time they extended it on the last day. Yeah, you're right. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. Okay. How do you think freight in the fourth quarter and going into next year? Busy. Left to its own devices, if everybody stays out of it, busy. We're already hauling holiday freight. Busy. Now, somebody can come along and throw a wrench in that. So my crystal ball is no good here. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know what that number's for, so I'm not going to put that up there. Yeah, Georgia Patriot knows about health insurance. Everyone in the middle class is one illness away from bankruptcy. You're absolutely right. Road Float channel member, thanks for coming in. Can't hang out tonight. Hope everyone is safe in the South. See you next time. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Come on in again. Oh, let's find some more questions here. Yes, Michael White. This is something we will get into. Is health share for Christians and different religious organizations like Samaritan Ministries and MediShare. I like those things for health insurance. We'll come back to that. Let's see here. What do we got? I'm going to keep posting that link here. If anybody has authority type questions, come on in. If you want to ask me, if you want to be on, I just ask, you got to show your face and you got to have something to talk about. Trucking with diabetes. What exactly is the Oregon bond for? It is for, hey, that face looks familiar. Yeah. It is what they want you to do, to put up a bond so that if you don't pay, they can take your bond. I got text questions coming in. We'll get to those here in a little bit. I'm here. I'm down for whatever, so we can do this all night if my voice holds up. Whatever y'all want to do. Oh, thank you, Trucking Diabetes, for the super chat. Check out that channel, man. Diabetes is rampant in this industry. And this man here, Cassius King, is checking second channel. He's trying to help you out with that. Trying to help you out. So help him out.
So when the Oregon bond says if you don't pay, like if you don't pay what?
Oh,
like your road tax or your
so Oregon does not charge fuel tax at the pump. Okay. So what you have to do is monthly or quarterly, whichever kind of filer you are. There's both. Not a lot of people don't know you can get to quarterly filing status. You have to file a return with the state telling them how many miles you traveled, blah, 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 and then do the math and it will tell you how much money you owe them. Unless you buy a temporary permit where you pay that money up front. See, if you buy a temporary permit, you got to tell them, I'm entering the state here, I'm going here, I'm reloading here, I'm coming back out, this is the miles I'm going to travel. You tell me what I owe you, you pay it. It's part of your permit. If you're a quarterly or monthly filer, you get to do that, at the end of the month or end of the quarter. Right. You will have to pay. If you travel through Oregon, you will pay because they do not collect fuel tax at the pump, which makes Oregon fuel not usually a great deal. They can end up having pretty expensive fuel. 13 versus 18 speed. Yeah, it's nonsense. Just put the damn tax at the pump. That's how we get, this taxed per mile. It started with them morons, but not the people of Oregon, of course, the legislature. 13 versus 18 speed truck. What's your application? I mean, 18 speed, I don't really see a purpose for it outside of heavy haul. Plenty of uses for a 13 speed. I want to pre-read comments here before I throw them up. Okay, there's people. There's phone numbers here for insurance companies. I'm not going to read them because that would be irresponsible. They could be sending you to something. I don't think anybody would do that, but wouldn't be responsible for me to say the phone numbers here. Marty said, okay, what do you think about semiconductor shortage till 2023 and a half? Could go longer than that. I tell you what, it's real, damn sure real. I'll tell you that, and it's not getting solved anytime soon. In fact, it's probably actually getting a little worse. So that's the fact. It's not really what I think. Yeah, I just did Oregon. After you fax or email that form, you can get an email from them. You have to call to add your truck. I didn't know about a bond though. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, AB, I think that we were going back and forth in the comments about him getting an Oregon CCD number. I found him the form. So there you go on that. DCR Trucking says hashtag fax. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Would power only be less stressful than having your own trailer as an owner op? That's a I mean, that's a personal preference thing. Stress can be found everywhere. I would, something you might not remember is pulling somebody else's trailer all the time. If you're pulling 10 different Amazon, responsible for what kind of condition they're in. So if you got tail lights out, you could be dinged for that. If you got whatever, that's on you. That if you get an inspection, that goes on your authority. Amazon isn't liable for any of that. If you have your own trailer, you know exactly what kind of mechanical shape it's in. Yep. So that's something that's not often remembered. Will I be all right to get a 2001 dry van with aluminum walls? I'm guessing you mean like a plate trailer or a post? What are you talking about? I don't. Just with the straight, just aluminum walls with the logistics post in them, rather than like wood or anything. Some products need that, like insulation, stuff like that. I don't see any problem with it. You'll be fine. Let's see. Oh, Tolga must have published his first video today. Brandon says he does power only as an owner operator and book freight back to the shipper, and I gross $8,000 a week. Well, that's good money. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Power only seems to be killing these days.
Yeah, but if and this is semantics, but it does matter, and it matters more every week. If you have your own authority, please stop referring to yourself as an owner operator. You are not. You are a motor carrier, and that's going to become important if we get these stupid AB5 and subcontractor laws. So let's start doing it now. And I'm not picking on you. I'm not mad at you. Just trying to make some positive changes here. No. Running Aces says, do you have to enter all the miles you've driven in each state when you renew your IRP plates? Yes, you do, but that is easily done. Just get the last, 4 quarters of if the returns pertain to that time period. Take it off your if the returns. There you go. Rather than it's easy. I mean, it'll take you a little time to sit down and add it up, but it's not too bad. AB says he's heard good about Lone Mountain. You heard what I had to say about Lone Mountain Cash. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. They're moving fleet trucks, so be aware that they're probably not going through them with a fine-tooth comb. They're just polishing them and putting them on the lot. But my motto on used trucks, it's like buying a scratch-off lottery ticket. You really don't know what you got till you get it, out and paid for, and it's yours. So, honestly, I've seen the pay structure on those Lone Mountain trucks, and that's not a bad way to get a truck financed.
It's not.
It's a set payment for X amount of months. Typically it's under $1,500 for under 4 years. And you put a few $1,000s down. I've actually went all the way through with the process and never went and got the truck because I was working on another truck deal with MHC Kenworth. But basically what they want, whatever that down payment is, Lone Mountains they're going to want to see a bank statement with double that down payment. That way they know you got a little money in the bank after you make the down payment.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Freight trucking, $50 super chat channel member. Thank you, sir. Man, that's unexpected. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That guy gave me a super chat earlier. He must be making money hand over fist.
He must be killing it. He throws a lot of money out there. I've seen him throw some big dollars out there to people.
Yeah.
Trucking with Diabetes says, "What do people need to do if they want to lease onto you?" I tell you, how many thumbs up? I can't see how many thumbs up I got on this video right here. Can anybody tell me?
I've only got one phone going.
Yeah, if we can get me 75 thumbs up, I'll tell you about that. I want to tell you about that. I got something to say about that. A little secret, something I want to share. It pertains to getting your own authority or being a lease operator. If you're having a hard time making that decision, let's see if we can't get 75 thumbs up in here, and somebody let me know when we get there, and I'll spit it out my babbling mouth.
Let me turn on a hotspot, and I'll get a second phone going here.
Jerome Jones wants to hold some money for you. He says you're making all kinds of money. He says he wants to hold some for you. You think we can get that done? Gamer X says Florida doesn't have. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't
know. Florida doesn't have rolling stock. Okay, thanks for looking that up. I do appreciate it. It's hard to keep up on every single state, man. Florida is not a state I travel a lot either, so it doesn't really matter. Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Much more familiar with them. Nomadic Brit says, I had to lease purchase a truck as I was a foreigner coming to the USA with no credit, etc., and survived, and truck is now being bought and paid for. Yeah, that's a good, there's a lot of people doing that in the trucking industry, so that's another good entry point. It's not a bad one. Nomadic Brit, I know where you're leased on, and I would rather you buy a truck from Lone Mountain than the carrier you're leased to, unless you could straight up cash job it.
Yeah.
He said he paid an extra 22%, but it put you where he needed to be. Now he's the highest paid tanker driver with Schneider bulk contract. Well, good for you. So that 22% was money well spent then. You got to say. Sometimes you overpay for things. It is what it is. But if it gets you where you need to be or where you want to be, hey, anybody buying a truck right now or anybody buying a trailer right now is overpaying. But if you want to be in the game, that's what it is. Let's see here. We lost him. He'll be back. He can't stay away for too long. Shortages of trucks and trailers everywhere. Yep, we've been talking about that an awful lot. Let's see here. Can you use a virtual address to get your MC DOT number? They're cracking down on that. And they should. They absolutely should. I'm all in favor of cracking down on that. Because and I even got an email in regards to that the other day. Somebody emailed me from Ethiopia and wanted me to help them set up their motor carrier here so that they could get started operating a trucking business. I wouldn't even answer them because screw that. There's a whole lot of things. Number one, they're not going to be in compliance with a damn thing. And number two, how are you going to operate a trucking company from 5,000 miles away? How are you going to hire drivers? How are you going to interview them? How are you going to do the compliance on them? How are you going to tell me how you're going to road test a damn driver when you're not even in this country? And I won't support that. And plus, I'm tired of these. There's a lot of brokers now that are strictly overseas, and I've had about enough of that too. And so I won't support that. Yes, you're going to want it. You need a physical address. You're going to have one. So yeah. Now that can be they used to, I don't know if they still do, but I'm sure they do support like what do you call that? Where you got a mailbox somewhere? I don't even know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Words. Sometimes we have problems with words cache.
Sorry I dropped out on you there, and apparently I can't turn on a hotspot while I'm doing anything. I was in Trucking Answers live the other day, and he was talking about a product where they're offering an actual physical address. You'd sign up, and then like they can do things with your mail. They can scan it and email it to you. They can forward it to another address for you. But as far as the physical address, I've tried this before. The federal government, they know all the UPS stores, they know all the post office. You're not going to get away with, like I even used the UPS store, and in my box number, I put apartment, whatever. And they were like, that don't work, guy. We saw right through that. Like that, you ain't the first one to think of that.
Oh, someone's calling you out. If you don't own one, you can't speak on it. Trucking with Diabetes.
If you don't own one,
I think he's talking about Lone Mountain, but I don't know that. We can all have an opinion. We can all have an opinion.
Oh no, he's talking about 14-liter Detroit, because he said get a 60 series, but make sure it's a 14-liter. And I said if it's got I said if it's got an EGR, that 14-liter, I'd pass on it. Yeah.
I owned one of them.
I mean, I had one in the past, and if it's got the EGR, I'll pass on it. That's all I was saying. So I can speak on it. I have owned one.
Wants to know, I can always find what kind of maintenance I need to do on my tractor. What kind of maintenance would I need to do on a trailer? Okay, I think this goes back to the question about leasing versus buying a trailer. And I was talking about, doing maintenance on somebody else's trailer. There's a good amount of maintenance to do on a trailer. Not all of it necessarily maintenance. If somebody sticks a fork through the trailer, you got to fix that. If you get a broken, if your floor starts to leak or the roof starts to leak, the walls start to leak. Older trailers can leak. You got tires. You get rid of that. Tires, brakes, bushings, airbags, shocks. You got cross members front to back. Oh, I heard something. You got all kinds of maintenance. Doors, door gaskets, door hinges. If it's a reefer trailer, you got a whole nother engine to maintain. Tires are a big expense. There's maintenance on a trailer is a real thing. It might not be maintenance on a truck, but you got to figure there's a cost per mile associated with that. So, yeah, it's a real thing. So if you're going to get 10% more at your carrier for having your own trailer, we'll sit down and say, okay, what would 10% more bring me? If it's going to bring you an extra $2,500 a month and it's dry van, you can damn sure own a dry van for $2,500 a month. Besides maintenance, insurance. Okay, so you got to pay insurance on that, payments, interest. Now that you have your own trailer, are you going to be responsible for cargo insurance? Cargo insurance isn't terrible, but all these things add up. Okay, so if you're pulling van and it's going to bring you an extra $2,500, yeah, you can definitely own a van for $2,500 a month and have room left over to put some profit in there. So yeah, and renting a trailer right now, if you can get one, you're going to get probably somebody's old piece of crap and pay a ridiculous amount of money for it. So
right,
this trailer thing, man, it's serious, and it's going to get, I'm telling you, it's going to get way worse. It's not getting better. It's going to get worse. Parts shortages are going to get worse. So do I have a good solution? Not really. I mean, just be aware of it, so if you're thinking about buying a trailer in 2 months, you better start looking now. Networking, talking to people, get your name in with a couple salesmen, get on their call list. That's what I've done. I'm on 4 different call lists for trailers coming in, and that's paid off. So Calvary Trucking, renting a trailer might cost $400 a week. It might cost you more than that. That's probably a van price. I've seen reefers for like $1,800 a month, plus like $1.25 an hour on the unit, maybe a mileage charge, and maybe a maintenance charge per mile also. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Yeah, AB says if you can find someone, that's right, and he's called everywhere. as have I and everybody else. What do I think about
Yeah.
LRM leasing? I have not heard of LRM leasing. Have you, Cash?
Yes, that is the one. I think Asian Maya was promoting them at one point. They're out of like Pompano Beach, Florida, somewhere in there.
How many likes we got? We at 75?
84.
Oh, no. Okay. We'll talk about it here. Hold on. I had a lead on some new trailers, 2022s, $43,000. That must be a dry van price, because the new 2022 Reefer, you're looking at 120 plus, 120,000 plus. All right, I gotta remember my place in the chat here, so I'm gonna just find something here to put on the screen so I don't lose my place. All right, so sorry. What I wanted to talk about, reveal, is I guess deciding whether or not to get your authority is a big question. Everybody sees the money, thinks you're going to be better off. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit here, and getting your own authority versus not getting your own authority. Now, I'll say it up front, everybody's experience is going to be very different depending on the company you're with, the kind of trailer you pull, where you run, how long you stay out, what you do, what you do for equipment, blah, blah, blah. Results talking. Okay. By me saying this, maybe it makes me look bad. I don't care. But I told you I was going to tell you a little secret, so I am. Started this owner-operator program in January, taking on 6 different guys. The fact of the matter is, since January, that 1 year to date and 2 others that are on track, making more money, netting more money, this net is after expenses, then leased onto me at an 80-20 split, making more money than I ever did under my own authority as a single truck owner. That's probably going to surprise some people, but I can tell you why that is. Okay, number one, obviously, freight is paying great right now. That is not the only reason. And why am I saying all this, even though it might make me look bad? Well, because it might help somebody make the decision of whether or not to get their own authority. And Cash, I'll tell you, I think I've said this to you. I watched the numbers you put out. You make more money leased onto the company that you are with than I did most years with a single truck with my own authority. Another part of the reasons for that is when I was a single truck owner, I don't want to say owner operator, but own authority, driving my own truck, I did not have a me in the office looking for freight, booking freight, searching out new freight lanes, searching out relentlessly better fuel pricing, deals on equipment, deals on tires, better backhauls. When you're driving the truck, running the business, everything, you got to sleep sometime. You got to do everything. You can't be on that load board 18 hours a day like I can being in the office. When you're behind that wheel 7 days a week, a couple 3 months out of the month, whatever, however you run, you can't be out beating the concrete trying to find direct customers. You can't be out constantly trying to find new equipment. You cannot run that business as effectively as you could if you had the time to go commit your full amount of time to this business. Okay, I did not have a me doing that for me. Okay, that translates into less money. The money was still great. I made plenty of money. Don't get me wrong. Made great money. They're making better money because they have a me doing all those other things. Now, that's on an 80-20. It's a good plan we have. It's a great plan for them. And once I took your advice, Cash, of why the hell am I still driving a truck? I should be running the business. When I got back here behind the computer I can go out. I can make phone calls all day long and find freight. I can be on a load board pounding it constantly. Better backhauls. Always looking for equipment. I saved up capital through the years. I can make them better deals on equipment. I can constantly be looking for better fuel prices. Constantly be looking for better deals on tires. I don't know that I ever could have found the time or the time to do all the communication it takes to go out and set up direct shipper freight. So they're benefiting from that in a way that I never really would have if I was still one guy behind the wheel in one truck. So I say all that to say, one guy's absolutely murdering it. I tell him all the time he's doing far better than I ever did. He gets it. He understands, but I don't think you can really understand until you've been through it. Sometimes you got to go through things to really get it. But he knows, and I tell you what, he is blowing it out of the water. He's murdering it. Three other guys are doing the same thing. They just haven't been in it as long. One other guy will get there, just hit a few snags along the way, and one other guy, he'll get there eventually, working through some personal things at home. He will get there. So to say, I say all this to say this, that to say, if you're only looking to get in this to make more money, that is your only reason. Think about all these things. You won't necessarily make more money. Now, gross, I don't give a damn about gross. We're talking about net, okay? Net profit at the end of the year. Me money in the bank, in the paycheck money. All right. It can be done. Now, you gotta be with the right company. If you're leased to like I saw a YouTube video this morning of somebody showing their rate cons that their company has been skimming off their rate cons, hundreds of dollars per load. Yeah, that's going to be tough. You got to have somebody that's on the up and up. You got to have a competent dispatcher. You got to have competence on your side. But to say that I'm going to go get my own authority only so I can make more money is just not always true. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying here's the information. Okay? Consider these things. I'm not ashamed to say that my buddy Cash here made more money than me leased on as an owner operator than I did with my own carrier. That's not the whole story, okay? Because money, the money isn't always everything. It's what's the goal you're working for. My goal was to work towards building up my carrier. Cash has different goals. They're his personal. He's crushing them. He's doing well at them. His goals are different. Okay. So if you're with a really good carrier, you're making great money, and you're happy, the grass is not always greener. In fact, the grass could be poisoned with Roundup, and the first bite you eat might kill you. You go out on your own with your own authority, and right away you put a piston through the block of your engine. Can you survive that? Honestly. Besides the repair, what about that loaded trailer you got behind you? You're all on your own now, big boy. What are you going to do with that? So that you don't have to, pay a freight claim. Especially if it's a refrigerated load. All right. Think about all these things. Even if they made slightly less, $10,000 a year less. $10,000 ain't enough to put up with all that and all the things that go on behind the scenes. I'll tell you right now. If you've never, done it, you don't know about it. You don't need to know really unless you're intending on doing it. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to kind of put out there, because I don't know that anybody else is really going to tell you all that. Buddy Cash is going in and out here. He'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back. What do you think? Overshare, Cash? Overshare?
No, I lost you there for a second. I'm having a horrible cell service here.
Yeah, you are.
How do those guys make that kind of money if they're giving you 20%?
Say that again.
I said, how are those guys making that kind of money giving you 20%?
Well, first of all, they're not giving me anything. I've never gotten a check. It's a deal we have, and they get paid. I give them 80%. I mean, it's semantics, but whatever. Because
Right.
I can. Yeah, I know you're messing with me. I know you're messing with me. Because I can go out and give them more for that. I can give them
Right.
the new hot thing is self-dispatch. I'm gonna tell you what, anybody can do self-dispatch when freight is like this and look brilliant, look like a genius. Things
Yep.
slow down. You got to have somebody on your side, somebody that knows freight lanes, somebody that knows people, customers, contacts. Okay, and even right now, like you, for instance, you're able to do self-dispatch, but you recognize that somebody that's sitting at a computer all day is gonna find them gems that come up on the load board and they're gone in 2 seconds. Somebody posts a $6,500
Yeah.
load. If you're driving down the road, you ain't on that load board. You ain't gonna see that. And I know you know that.
Done, and by the time I stop,
We lost him again. He'll be back. He'll be back. All right, trucking up. He's got a good fuel card. TSD Logistics fuel card, killing it for him. Averaging 40 to 60 cents per gallon. That's a good discount, my friend. I'm gonna leave that up there. Excuse me, sorry, so people can see it. Cavalry Trucking, thanks for coming on. What's your opinion on when a broker puts down the weight as an estimated weight? TQL gave me a rate con with estimated weight of 42.5. BOL said it was 43.6 after scale. Well, I mean, if you're getting paid by weight, that's important. The other thing that would be important, I would say, is make sure you have the correct amount of product. You know, if the rate con says 42.5 and they give you 19,000 pounds, I would say, well, did you put it all on the trailer? Because some rate cons will hold you responsible. Like most of them going into an Aldi's, if you don't get all the POs on that, they'll back charge you to have somebody else haul that. So that's important. But as far as like nitpicking, you know what? They paid for a truckload. As far as I'm concerned, they're entitled to put the payload on there that you can haul legally. Now if you told it was 5,000 and they end up putting 45,000 pounds on there, I might balk at that and say this isn't really what you told me, dude. But rather than make a big deal out of it and ask for more money, I might be inclined to say, you know what, this broker is disreputable. If they knew about it, they lied. Some of them might not lie, because I'll be honest with you, shippers don't always tell the truth to the brokers. Inquire about it. If you find out that he's shady or disreputable, check him off your list, man. There's other work out here right now, I'll tell you. Commercial insurance continues to rise every year. When will it stop on a clean record with no points? It's going to continue to rise because of our litigious society, man. That's the first thing we got to clean up is the litigation. And they're not going to do that. Politicians are lawyers. Almost every politician's a lawyer. After scaling the load, he was over 46,000. Oh, well, legal is a different issue. They gotta put you legal, and if they lied to you, then I might say, okay, if I got to go back 50 miles to get some taken off, I think you need to compensate me because you told me, you misinformed me here. I booked this rate knowing that I can scale 42.5, knowing that I can't scale 46. So that's the agreement we had. That's a little different. Oh, WC Finvader, new channel member, appreciate it. He did that by going down next to my name there, the channel name, and next to the subscribe button, there's a little join button. If you choose to support the channel, I appreciate that. You get there's 3 different tiers. One's $3.99 a month. There's basically you get some emojis and a little thing next to your name, and then for $7.99 a month you get that, and you get, if you have your own authority, we do online safety videos to help keep you in compliance for DOT. Something, I don't know, if it provides something of value. And then if you need some personalized one-on-one coaching, like my direct attention, you can do the $99, and once a month we'll sit down and do that. Just did one the other night. We knocked it out of the park, man. Saved that guy a bunch of money, and we're going to do it again. But I do not expect. I try to answer all the questions I can, but to get into details, it's hard. It takes a lot of time, and time is short. So I apologize. Can I write off the entirety of equipment I've purchased this year instead of depreciating it over a few years? To an extent, there is the Section 179 deduction, or the Section 179 that says up to a certain dollar amount, and they change it every year. I don't know what it is for this year. You can take a depreciable asset, say your truck, and instead of divide it over 3 years, or if it's a trailer, 5 years, you could take all the depreciation in 1 year. Would I do that? That really depends. Sit down and do your taxes and see where you come out. I would do it to the extent to get me down into the next lowest tax bracket, because next year I'm probably going to need some kind of depreciation also. Or, I mean, if you're the type, you say, I want to wipe out all my taxes this year, you can do that. Is it smart? We got to know your overall situation. Sit down with a CPA or tax professional and say, tell me where I am if I just take the straight line depreciation on this, or if I take the accelerated depreciation and take it all this year. And then say, okay, well, what now? There's a middle ground. Or say if it's $100,000 asset, you could take, obviously if it would get divided up in 3 years, it'd be 33, 33, 33. Or you could take all 100, or you could say, well, I'm going to take a large chunk of it this year, say 50,000. I'm going to take 50,000 this year, and we'll divide that second 50,000, and then it has to get divided over the rest of the depreciation schedule. I am not a CPA or tax accountant. Just talking about from experience of things I have done. So always consult a professional. IRS could put you in jail. Don't listen to some knucklehead on YouTube. Oh, okay. We're talking about the TVC Pro driver there. Freight trucking. Thanks for all the info you put out. Well, thank you for the $50 super chat. That was mighty kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't. Can I briefly talk about Nexus tax? I just heard about it, and I think I have to make more than $100K a year for that to kick in. I have not heard about Nexus tax. Is that like the alternative minimum tax? I've never heard anything called the Nexus tax, so I'm unfamiliar with that. You probably want to talk to a tax person about that. I've not, and I've made a decent amount of money. I've never encountered something called the Nexus tax, unless it's a state thing, which I don't know. Maybe it's a crazy California thing. Who knows? Anybody else wants to jump on here? You're welcome to. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'll ask is you have something to talk about and show your face. How do you run exempt loads on a reefer trailer if they do extended it again? Well, you have to, number one, meet the qualifications for the exemption, which they could change or they could leave the same. Medical supplies, animal feed, what is it called? Emergency restocking to grocery stores or distribution centers. Routine deliveries are excluded. There's a lot of stipulations on that. Go on the website, print them out, keep them with you in the truck. So if you get questioned, here you are, Mr. Officer. This is what I'm doing, and this is why I qualify. How do you do it? Well, technically, you don't even have to keep a log. You could technically throw it out the window, or probably the smart way to do it is put yourself in PC, or some ELDs I think have a mode on there for exemption or some kind of whatever the wording is. Talk to your log department about what they want you to do there. But according to the letter of the law, you do not even have to keep a log. I would be nervous about doing that, but you'd be justified. Have you asked yourself ever how King Kong meat is? I bet it's tough. He's a well-muscled gorilla, that King Kong. Tell you what. Any news on hours of service exemption? Not yet. Not yet. And I'm not even going to speculate because those people have a way of letting you down. Chat jumped on me again. Let me get back. Where'd he go? Wow, I'm way behind here. I'm trying to burn through some of these. Holy cow. Let me go back. There we are. Okay, yeah, that new G Star says he's 1 week away from the 6-month new authority audit. That's a video I need to make. New authority audit. I'm writing down ideas here. What are some expectations to be prepared and stay on top? Also, are they asking all months of my driving hours? I have so much PC. Well, if you've made sure that that PC is legit, you have nothing to worry about if it's legit. Always make sure your PC is legit, no matter what it is. Okay, and document it. Put comments in on your PC, man. That's what I ask for. What to expect? Expect that drug testing is a big deal in your consortium, and you're enrolled in the clearinghouse. Expect that they will ask for random information, so that you cannot necessarily be prepared for it. Well, you can be prepared. Just have all your ducks in a row. But will they ask for? They'll ask for what logs will they ask for? They'll make it completely random. They might say, send me your last 6 weeks, your first 6 weeks, send me last month. They will go behind the scenes on the FMCSA website, make sure all your permits are valid, things like that. They'll check out your insurance. You won't really have to send them much there. What else? Maintenance rec. They might want to see that you have a maintenance program. Alex Express trying to come in here. Hold on, buddy. I need to burn through some comments here. We'll get to you. Yeah, they're gonna ask for a lot. Maybe your driver qualification file. They might want to see some things in there. Make sure everything is squared away. I'll do a video on that. Tell you what, I'll try to get it done here in the next week. Lots of deadhead and power only. Yeah, there is. Alex, we'll get to you in a minute here. I got to burn. I'm so far behind on comments. Let me get through some of these. Atkins says, I do all my permits, rent the reefer trailer, haven't been stiffed on a bill yet, have broken down on a load, and just got my truck out of the shop after being down for 3 weeks. Well, good deal. Good deal. So you've gone through some things. Good. I haven't been, there's not so much getting stiffed on loads anymore as when, it used to be, because there's so many ways to verify. And there is brokerages that come out and run scams like that. What the heck was it called? Mega, not Megacorp. They're a legit broker. I was talking about a while back. They're gone. Oh, Mega Freight Company or Mega, whatever it was. They're gone now. They got bounced. You're always going to find somebody hustling on there, man. Okay. Yeah. I'm not picking on you, saying you ain't been through nothing. You asked what some of the challenges are and some of the difficulties. Something to understand too is I started this in 2005. I started my own authority. Okay. There was no YouTube. There was no me. There was no other people talking about this stuff, teaching. I learned everything the friggin' hard way, man. The hard way. So maybe I'm a little jaded in that. So forgive me for that, but you sound like you know what you're doing. So just keep being willing to learn everything. Just go try to find it, man. Ricardo Herrera, is it better to incorporate or stay LLC for MC with one truck? It depends, and definitely consult a tax person on this, okay? You can be an LLC that's taxed as an S Corp. That is a very popular thing to do. Depends on how much money. Everybody's tax situation is so much different. We could make the same amount of money, and I pay a way different amount of tax than you, okay? What's your home life? Do you have any other businesses? Do you have kids? Do you have blah blah blah? What do you do with your money? Taxes are a very personalized individual thing. So have a good source out a good CPA or tax person. Go in a couple times a year, even when it ain't tax time. Pay for an hour of their time and ask these questions. I do that every year in the fall. I go in and we do a mock tax return as if the year ended today. And I figure out where I'm at. And then the rest of the year I can spend planning, assuming things are relatively the same as what they were in the first part of the year. We can do a lot of tax planning, man, in 3 months. Trucking Like a G says, do you have a list of what states let interstate carriers drive intrastate? I have a whole video on it, Trucking Like a G. Go back, it's not that far back in the channel. List them all out and talk about it. So definitely check that out. Oh, 50. Okay, I think we hit over the 75 likes. Let me just scroll down. We're looking for more. Why you need commercial credit to buy a semi? You don't. You don't, man. You don't need commercial credit to buy a semi. You can do it on your personal credit. Should you? It's up to you. There's a lot of common misconceptions about people keep calling some things corporate credit that are not. I like the idea of building up, well, let's just say business credit. Because if you're not a corporation, you don't have corporate credit. I've had people argue with me up one side, down the other, that they're an LLC and they have corporate credit. An LLC is not a corporation. Anybody who's trying to tell you that an LLC is a corporation doesn't know what they're talking about. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Okay, now you can be an LLC taxed as an S corp. That does not make you a corp. Okay, to have true commercial or corporate credit, you need to be incorporated, an S corp or C corp, something of the sort. There's gray areas in between. Okay, business credit, we'll just call it all business credit. I'd like the idea of building business credit. When I do a loan for the business, I do it in the business name. I am still personally liable for that loan. And I argue this with a friend of mine. We don't argue about it because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Building business credit is ancillary to me. I focus on running a good business, making sound decisions. Even if it is business credit, you default on it, they're still going to freaking come after you. They're going to try to pierce that corporate veil and take your assets. So concentrate harder on the business. Build business credit, and if you're a corporation, corporate credit as an ancillary thing. Don't think that it has to be your. Don't get caught up in it. Okay, not saying it's not important. Yeah, you're going to want to build your credit along the way. Okay, but don't put the cart before the horse. All this can be done without business credit, corporate credit. Get the ball rolling, then start saying, hey, anytime I borrow money, we're going to do it in the business name. Understanding I'm still liable till we get to a certain point where somebody wants to extend me true standalone corporate credit. Depending on who you're working with, that could happen very soon. That could take a very long time. Okay, but it's not going to affect any business decisions I make. Whether or not I buy that piece of equipment has nothing to do with if I'm buying it under corporate credit or my credit. Okay, it has to do with do I need it? Is it going to help my business? And is it a smart thing? Okay. My personal opinion, you are absolutely entitled to your own. Trey Nino says, I'm in Tennessee. Is this really the best place for freight? The best place for freight is where you find it and what you make of it. You know, I'm fortunate. I live in a pretty good freight base area, not that far. You know, I'm between Chicago and Minneapolis, two great freight areas. The area in between is a great freight area. Iowa is a great freight area. There's great freight areas all over the place. You just need to find them, find your niche, get in where you fit in, and you know, go out and work it. Be outgoing about it. Tolga says Florida is an absolutely lovely state, but it's hitting hard by joblessness problem in these days. Yes. Tough freight area too. Let's see here. Do I think gliders will come back? That's up to the government, and they don't know. They couldn't find their ass with both hands, so who knows what they're going to do. Alex in here, member, channel member. Thank you, Alex. Man, I'll get to you in a second. Just let me get caught back up on some comments here. Virtual address, no, they're not letting people really do that anymore. Georgia Patriot, you cannot use a UPS store location now. Must be physical address for a lot of things. Okay, good. I knew they were okay, so they're past that too. I knew they got the virtual address thing out of the way. It appears as though they've gone after that also. Gamer says he has a commercial lease for office space with his registered agent. Okay, well that's a different way to go about it. That's an actual physical address though. Stratus says he put a $5,000 deposit on a new truck. Should I just put my truck on with a company or get my own authority? How much more money you got? It takes money to get your own authority, really. And you know, the company's going to be that safety net. Maybe you need to just start there and build it up and then move on. It's a big question, you know. First thing I would ask is how much money you got. What's a good, honest trucking company that I can lease onto? Purchase a truck, start my trucking business. Any advice on that? I don't necessarily, maybe not fond of the megas. There's some really good companies out there. You just have to find it. Ask Cassius King talks about them all the time, and he knows companies better than I do. Find a small to mid-sized carrier that'll know you, work with you, cares about getting you home. You know, when you call up, do they ask you, "What's your truck number?" Or they say, "Hey, Nick, how you doing?" Big fan of that. Okay, I'm gonna hold this comment here for a second. I'm gonna bring Alex on. Alex, I can give you a few minutes here. What's up, buddy? We're popping and banging in here, trying to solve the world's problems. What's going on, my friend? You can't hear me, obviously. Alex, you cannot hear me, can you? Try to get your audio sorted out, buddy. We'll bring you back in. Give me a thumbs up. Chaos says, I currently leased on to a frac sand hauling company and not doing very well at all. I was thinking about getting my own authority and wondered would it be wise and beneficial. Thank you ahead of time. Well, I hope you just heard my whole rant on that about getting your own authority versus leasing onto a company. So if you didn't, go back and listen to that. The frac sand thing, I know at least where I live, the frac sand was hot for a while. It started it, but it kind of played out, and now all those people that got into that are kind of looking for something else to do. You know, what are your goals? What's your financial situation like? Oh, what do we got here? Nomadic Brit says, I'd like to seriously apologize to anyone in this channel that I hid messages, etc. as Nomad Trucker called me and the phone was against my ear and hit the button. So I'm sorry. I didn't see you bounce anybody. So I think you're good. You're good. But tell Nomad Trucker to come on in here and chat it up with us. Cavalry Trucking says, I had a guy back into my new trailer and it put a hole through it. Had to fight to get the money to fix it. Also had to take my trailer off the road to get it fixed. Yeah, the gentleman that was saying, Nick, no, about the downsides of having your own authority. Everything's good. These kinds of things can happen too. I believe Cavalry Trucking, if I remember right, your trailer was down for months. If I remember right. So that poses a question, especially in a time like this, trailer down for months. What do you do for a trailer? You'd say the insurance company, if the guy hit you, his insurance company would be responsible for, paying for your lease on a trailer or something like that. But that's all well and good. But if you can't find one, yeah, then we're in rough shape here. Yeah, Amelia Trucking scammers got the business F up. Yes, there is scammers, man. I'm telling you. That dude from Ethiopia that wanted me to help him start a trucking company over here. I ain't doing it. Ain't no way. Alex, I had to bounce you out there. I know you're having audio troubles. Try to get that sorted out, buddy. Channel member, we'll bring you in here for a little bit. Chillicothe, Ohio, Kenworth laid off a couple hundred people. What's my explanation? I don't know. Who knows? Can they build trucks? Are they building trucks? Can they get the parts? I know they got all these trucks they can't deliver because no chips. I don't know. Freightliner is banging. They can't deliver trucks. The trailer manufacturers can't build them fast enough. I don't know what Kenworth's deal is. I don't follow them unless you're talking about. Well, yeah, it's got to be the. Dealer has a couple hundred employees, but maybe a labor problem. I really don't know. Yep. Okay, we're back to that. Must be a physical address. Okay. Yep. Was here and they were cracking down on that. Didn't. That's, you got to remember, it's been many years since I filed for my authority. So, okay, we already went through that. Oh, I'm going backwards here. Let's get caught up. Fraxan. WC wants to buy one of my trailers. Not for sale, my friend. They're gold right now. They're like gold. This whole shortage thing, whoever has the equipment is going to get the work. That's why I'm, looking for additional equipment because, I don't know. It's whoever you need the equipment to do business. Georgia Patriot found a Wabash dry van on Craigslist a few weeks ago. Good deal. Good for you, man. Gamer X says he's looking at second quarter of 2022. He's talking to a salesman now. Okay. I think you were talking about ordering a truck. Yeah. I mean, you can find it. It takes a lot of legwork, and you're going to probably overpay, sadly. Stratus says, how can I go to work for you? Well, I've tossed the idea around of adding some more trucks. I don't really know where I'm at with it. First, I need to find trailers. I need, my trailers are all full right now. I mean, if you had your own truck and trailer, that would be helpful. I mean, because I'm trying to get more reefer trailers, and I have somebody that's kind of hooking me up, but it's slow. It's a slow doggone process. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, I can get my hands on one. He promises me he's got one coming for me, but you gotta have a minimum of 2 years experience, preferably more. Reefer experience would help. Good driving record, and I tell you what, the right personality and attitude goes a long way with me. Like, we need to be able to work together, man. Like, communicate on a high level, because it's no time for games. So, but that being said, it's a good deal. The guys that are leased onto me they make great money, and I don't know. If you want to talk, email me, DIYsemi@yahoo.com. Always open to talking to people about it. That's just honestly kind of where I'm at right now. I need more equipment. I got a good pipe stream of some trucks with a guy. Are they ideal? Is it what people want? Maybe not, but they're priced right and they're great starter trucks. Want to own a truck? Any advice on good companies that I can lease to purchase? Yeah, I would prefer you don't. If you do, I ain't mad at you. I just like to see you do better. Somebody before brought up Lone Mountain. I would rather see you buy a Lone Mountain truck, control your own assets, and if you leave, you can take it with you. You're not building an equity in a truck that you have to walk away from and start over and do the same thing all over again. I'm a bigger fan of that. So look into it, and it doesn't have to be Lone Mountain. It could be anywhere. If you can go out and finance your own truck, I mean, that's ideal. If you if you have your own truck and you go to work for a company and they won't take you because you're not leasing the truck from them, that should be a giant red flag that they are not making their money for you hauling freight. They're making their money leasing that truck to you. That would be a giant red flag for me, and I would back off. I would go somewhere else. So, not to say all these purchases are garbage. I don't think they are, but I just think there's a better, more profitable way to do it. And better for you all around. You control your life and your situation so much better. Cavalry says getting my own authority was the best move I ever made. Yeah, I talk about the downsides of it. There's a ton of upsides. you have the potential to make more money. I'm not saying you will. I'm saying the potential is there. You can build a business. There's a certain amount of freedom that comes with it. Pride, all kinds of things. All kinds of things. So it's not all negatives. I just think that part isn't talked about enough. So that's why I do. I really want people to know what they're getting into, is all. And it may sound at times like I'm being all negative about it, but I'm living proof that you're not guaranteed to make more money. You might. You have the potential to. Will you? Maybe, maybe not. Frederico says, how important is it for a trailer to have air ride? I'm being offered two 2007 Werner trailers for $8K. They are spring ride. Most of your big carriers are going back to spring ride trailers, man. I hate it. I hate it. I pulled a spring ride van for a while and I hated it. And if you get light freight in there, it jumbles it, man. Anything behind those tandems, it acts like a springboard if you got really light freight. And not for me. It's not for me. Now, they're all, tons of them out there. People are doing it, man. You might occasionally run into a load you can't book without air ride, if it's glass or something like that. But overall, you'd be just fine. You'd be just fine. B Rad says, good to see the dynamic duo for another Saturday Night Live. Learned a lot. Thanks for coming in. I lost my partner there. He bounced out on me. He's having some problems there with his connection. Adco says he's one truck, one trailer, only driver. He does his own record keeping. It's a lot of work. It is. It is. And that's another thing too. And are you doing the record keeping? Adco, I know you are. You said you are. How much are you doing? There's things you can do above and beyond the government requirements to run a business, like the cost per mile. They don't require you to figure that. Are you keeping spreadsheets to know your profitability, your margins, your percentages, things like that? It's a lot of things to go above and beyond that are just good business. Praven Patel says, what do you mean 80-20? The split between the carrier and the owner operator. So there's all kinds of deals out there. I think what is Landstar, 68%, and then to the driver, and then 32% to Landstar. There's all kinds of deals. My deal is 80-20. 80% goes to the driver and 20% to me. There is places that are 85-15. It's not. Don't forget only to look at the percentages when you're looking at deals like this. Look at the deductions. What are you responsible for? Are you responsible for ELD? Which insurances are you responsible for? Are you responsible for trailer insurance? What insurances are you responsible for? Permits? What permits are you responsible for? There's all kinds of the devil's in the details type thing there. You got to figure it all as a whole deal. Okay. Nomadic Brit says net is what makes a business survive. Absolutely. Now, going back to the 80-20 thing, depending on deductions, 80-20 can end up being a far better deal than 85-15 if you're paying X expense and Y expense. That's why you got to figure the thing as a whole. Okay. Yep, Adco is just breaking that down. Thank you, sir. Jermaine's Flower says, how do you catch a company stealing off the rate con? All right. So what this person did, and it's how I would fact check them, to use the new terminology. So if a driver is on percentage, they have a right to see the rate cons, the invoices, blah, blah, blah. Now, you don't have to automatically provide that to them as a carrier. You can make them ask. What I do is when I get a rate confirmation, I sign it, I scan it back in, and I send it to the broker and driver at the same time. I CC them in so that they get every rate con. Yeah, there's nothing to hide. They can, if they want to come in and see my invoicing, it's sitting right next to me in this drawer right here. I don't care. So, being that I'm CCing them on email with the broker, they can see I'm sending. This is the rate con that I'm sending back to the broker signed. So there's no question if I'm altering the document. Blah blah blah. If I'm in a hurry, if it's like we got to go right now, when the broker sends me the rate con, I forward it on to the driver. And it has in the chain there that it came from the broker, and they can get the information, get on their way, and then I'll print it, sign it, and send it back, whatever we got to do. Now, what some companies are doing, and what somebody busted them doing on YouTube, is taking the rate confirmation, say it's a $3,000 rate confirmation, they will scan it into their computer, put it in a Photoshop or whatever, take out the part where it says $3,000 and put in $2,200. How you can bust them on that is call the broker and say, hey, what's this load paying? I'm on percentage. Or what this one lady did, I think, is called and said, hey, I'm with so-and-so trucking. I'm in the accounting department. There seems to be we may have made a mistake on the invoice. Can you tell me what we invoiced you for that load? And they said $3,000. And their rate con said $2,200. Well, ding, ding, ding. That's a big red flag. Okay. Now, if you do that, don't forget about this, okay? There could be a discrepancy in what they billed and what your rate con said if there was a lumper involved. So if they billed $3,000 and you call up and say, hey, what did we bill you for that load, or what did that load pay? And they say $3,300. Well, remember, you're the one that delivered the load. You would know, was there a $300 lumper on that load? Because that gets added onto the invoice. Okay, so find out all the facts before you come unglued and call your company a liar or a crook. Just make sure you have that all in there. And you should know if there was a lumper because you were the one that delivered the load. But as a driver, you do, if you are on percentage, you have a right to see that information. That's one way you can catch them stealing. I think it's pretty underhanded and dirty to do that. Just saying, there's certain companies that are more likely to do that. You figure out on your own who it is, but that's something that apparently is being done. Laderick Brown says, on my 4th insurance renewal of my authority, every year insurance goes up and almost put me out of the business. This year's excuse was I have no DOT inspections. Last year was a warning for trailer ABS. I don't know. I'm having quite the opposite experiences of some, I guess. I don't know why. Maybe it's the insurance company I'm with. I don't know. Usually years in a row, my insurance would go down every year. Last year it went down. This year it will go up a little because I've added some trucks and risk and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you have no DNT inspections, they're looking at that now because they think you're just dodging everything. So you gotta watch your CSA score. What exemption are we talking about? The COVID exemption for hours of service is what we're talking about. Roman Empire. I'll leave that. Oh, we got somebody that wants to come in. Let me see. Is he showing his face? Yes, he is. Oh, channel member. Come on in. Come on. How you doing there, Fate Trucking? How you doing? What you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I had a question. So
hey, just 1 second. 1 second. Can we talk? I know you got something to say about health insurance. Michael White want to talk about health insurance. Can you talk about that when you're done with your question? Would you mind sticking around for a minute?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
So I don't know if you've talked about this, but I'm leased onto a carrier, right?
Oh, okay.
And my question to you is, I'm thinking about purchasing my own trailer. Now, the current carrier that I'm leased onto, I don't pay any trailer fees or anything like that. It is an 80-20 split, and the carrier offered me to get a little bit more of the percentage, 5% more, if I had my own trailer. Now, I know you operate a carrier and you have so many, like, how much is it to own your own trailer? Like the maintenance, and I'm trying to crunch numbers and figure out if it's worthwhile me buying my own trailer or just continuing to use my carrier's trailer?
That depends. I mean, number one, what kind of trailer it is. I mean, if you've been trucking kind of, for a certain amount of time, you kind of know how long tires last, right?
Yep.
Is it a trailer that you've been pulling for regularly, or do you switch trailers all the time?
I typically stay with the same trailer. It's a reefer trailer.
Okay.
I might have to switch out every now and then and pull a different trailer, but to be honest with you, man, I'm new to this. I've only been doing it 8 months, but I kind of want more. Control's the wrong word. More independence, I guess. You know what I mean? Like where I don't have to rely on the carrier for very much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Being that you pull that trailer pretty regular all the time, one thing is you kind of know what's been done to the trailer, so you can kind of measure out anytime that something's done to the trailer. You could maybe ask your carrier if they're willing to tell you how much did that cost.
Okay.
Right. So
Yep.
that's a good measuring point. And number two, as far as how much more should you expect, well, it kind of depends where you're starting from. I mean, if you're at 90%, I mean, they can only give you so much more. 90% with their trailer, I don't think there's any deal like that. But going from 70 to 80% is a big jump. The closer you are to 100%, the less you can expect.
Okay.
But if you're on percentage, you know what your revenue pays. Figure out what have you done that? Figured out what 5% more of your revenue would be per month?
I haven't done that. I run a lot of numbers, and I'm pretty good with numbers, and I probably should do that. I just, like I was saying, I kind of want the independence. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want.
Are you in a situation where you do a lot of dropping hooks?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so that's out the window. You're not really going to lose on anything as far as freight or downtime or what have you. Now, there is maintenance. Like I said, talk to what's done regularly. Ask how much. Hey, how much did that cost? How much did that cost? First thing I'd probably do is sit down and figure out. Well, here's my monthly revenue. What is it? What is an additional 5% of that? If you're finding that your 5% is an additional, $2,500 to $3,000 a month, then I mean, yeah, you can own a trailer for far less than that.
Okay.
If you're finding that 5% is only $500 to $700 a month, I wouldn't. It's that's too slim.
Right. No,
so
that makes sense.
it's going to be different if it's reefer or dry van. I know you said it's reefer, but it costs more to maintain and operate a reefer than it does. And in this too, you got to remember, in this market, you're going to pay more. So maybe, if the percentage doesn't work out, you could always wait and do it when trailers are cheaper. But I mean, you got to remember too, with your own trailer, there's opportunities to increase your efficiency. If your trailer you're pulling for your company does not have skirting, does not have low rolling resistance tires, does not have a good aerodynamics package, there's a dollar amount to be put on that for the improvements that you can make going down the road. You could pimp that trailer out to be a real moneymaker if that's not already the case, right?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, it's an asset to you. Trailers last a good long time if you take care of them. So don't just figure that expense is okay. Say it's going to cost me $1,500 a month to own that trailer because of the payment and this. But if you're going to own that trailer for 10 years, you got to spread that payment out, that cost of that trailer. You kind of really legitimately have to spread it out over 10 years, not the 3 years of what your loan is. Okay. As far as the payment goes, maintenance is going to be what maintenance is. But also now, since you have the trailer, you can make changes maintenance wise. What it costs your carrier might not be what it costs you, because you might choose to use different parts, different tires, different fluids, lubricants, and you're going to take care of that trailer way different than they probably will, because it's yours.
Okay. My other quick question that I have real quick is, I know you're talking on this live right now about operating your own authority, having your own authority.
Mhm.
Do you, as you've shared on YouTube, you're a fleet owner. Why are you spending so much time talking about getting your own operating authority versus leasing on to a carrier?
Probably because I'm stupid. I mean, I've had that thought a lot of, am I just teaching the people that are leased on to me? Am I teaching them to leave me? I don't know. I'd like to believe that I share a lot with the people that are leased on to me more than probably anybody else does. So they know what's all involved and they see the headaches and the day-to-day, what it's like. And I think they know enough to put a value on that. And I think they all make pretty good money. I guess it's just the kind of person I am. I don't know. There's people asking about it all the time, and I can answer their questions, so I just do. I guess I don't know. It's probably not smart. Maybe it's not smart by me. I don't know. But it's just what I do.
Risk and reward, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the truth will be seen. I think if you encourage people to sit down and do the numbers and such, they'll see you're not always better off.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's just where I currently stand. And I know not everybody's going to agree with that, but 8 months in, being leased on to a company, I feel like it allowed me to become successful a lot quicker than I could have done it on my own. That's just my opinion.
Here's the thing too, if you're just starting off, okay, there's a learning curve, especially if you're a newer driver. There's a learning curve, and something that I've been able to do for the people that come to lease onto me is cut that learning curve. I have one guy that's here that after starting in January or December, whatever it was, 10 months ago, I don't know. The learning curve has been cut to the point where he's making the kind of money that people don't typically make until they're in it for 5 years, or I can keep them from making mistakes or help them manage their situation, with taxes and set them up with good people. And we can cut that learning curve. There's a learning curve to owning a truck. I don't care if you're leased on with Schneider or a guy with 5 trucks. Doesn't matter. There's a learning curve to everything. There's a learning curve when you just got out of driving school and learn how to drive.
Right.
If somebody can help you with that, that's a price to be put on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So before, can you throw out some information about what you learned about? Now, you went out and got health, and we've talked before. This is how I know that you went out and got health insurance on your own as a self-employed person. Can you talk about a little bit how you did that and give any pointers on that?
Yeah. The first step I did when I left my company that I worked for to go out on my own was I reached out to the county that I live in and told them I'm losing my health insurance. Actually, that's not true. The first step I did was check into the COBRA for the company that I worked for, and the COBRA rates were just outrageous. So I reached out to the county that I live in, and I live in Minnesota. So I reached out to the county that I live in Minnesota, and they told me that I would qualify for medical assistance. I personally did not feel comfortable with that. The reason they told me I would qualify for medical assistance was I made a life-changing event, I believe was the word they used. So anyways, make a long story short, what I ended up doing was just researching or insurance companies off of the marketplace, which is basically kind of like the Obama website that you could go to. And what I did from there is I didn't like what I saw on there. So what I did from there is just researched the current insurance that I had through my employer. I went to their started reading all the different type of insurance plans that you could choose from as an individual policy holder. And I found the insurance that worked for me and my 2 daughters, and I purchased it. And I don't pay much more than I was paying on a monthly rate, much more than I was paying at the company that I worked for. I think it's like $35 more a month.
Wow. Do you mind? I know I hear stories all the time. Oh, my insurance is $2,000 a month. My insurance is $1,800 a month for me and my wife, or my insurance is $1,500 just for me. Do you mind sharing what your rate is, or do you not talk about that?
It's $591 a month. My deductible is $6,900.
Wow, that's a very reasonable rate. So you're saying what you did is you just went to the health insurance you pretty much are already doing business with through your employer, and they gave you that price.
Yeah. Now, like I said, they have different. How can I explain this? So the plan. Sorry, if I lose internet service, I'm up at my parents'
Right.
lake home right now. And the Wi-Fi is kind of sketchy. The plan that I chose for the area that I live in Minnesota, I live in the metro area. So you could choose between plans and different clinics in that area. Now, like the normal clinic that I go to, which is 2 miles down the road from where I live, my new insurance does not allow me to go to that clinic. I have to travel about 20 minutes to the next clinic down the road.
Okay.
So like the plans that I could choose from, it did have certain clinics you could go to, and like certain things that I couldn't do with my other insurance, but then also gave me other options for like, I don't know how to explain, like mental health and drug abuse and stuff like that. I didn't have that type of coverage with the company insurance I had that I do have now with my current plan. So it was kind of a give and take. Now I could have paid more money and got on a different plan to where I could utilize all the clinics that have the name of the insurance company that I have on it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like I have Health Partners insurance. Now I have come to find out that's only in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So like I could have used any Health Partners clinic in Minnesota if I was willing to pay a higher premium. I chose to go with the lower premium.
Something people may not know is that health insurance in general, but health insurance in particular, is very much a state thing. So every state, should have a company like Health Partners. Okay. You just got to go out and do the research. Research it online is a good place to start.
And that wasn't like my only choice. The only reason I chose Health Partners was because I had already been insured with them for 10 years. I could have gone to Blue Cross Blue Shield. Alina, I think, I could have gone to any other insurance company. I just chose to stay with what I was familiar with, to be honest with you. And Health Partners is what I was familiar with. And I didn't have to change anything. Like I just brought my daughter to the doctor the other day, and everything's exactly the same. So I didn't have to fill out any new paperwork or anything. I just had to hand them a new insurance card.
Excellent.
If that makes
insurance. Sense. Yeah, insurance is one of those things, man, like kind of like taxes, where it's going to be very much according to the person, really. Now you got, you and your 2 daughters for a little under $600 a month. I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
so do I.
But you put a lot of legwork into that, So if you're in Montana or whatever, just start. You could call an insurance broker. Insurance brokers should shop it around for you.
Absolutely. That was the next thing I was going to say, because I did do that step. And here's the thing, kind of like car insurance. When you call an insurance broker for car insurance, they're going to find you the cheapest rate. Now, the cheapest rate isn't always the best to serve your needs. Do you know what I mean? Like I could have gotten health insurance for like $300 a month, but that didn't give me what I thought I might need. I mean, I have teenage daughters. If you read the news or read things, like I didn't want to get insurance that didn't have maybe like mental health involved in it. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to bring my daughters to like a counselor or something, I wanted it covered. If I would have gone with what the broker offered me, that wasn't covered.
Okay.
Because they were finding me the cheapest rate.
Right.
And once I started telling the broker everything I wanted, the price started going up dramatically to what you were
But
saying, like $1,500 a month.
but it's nice to have the choice, and it can be your option rather than having it not be your choice.
Oh yeah, my choice is for me and my family. It doesn't pertain to anybody else. It's
Right.
what I want to best service me and my family.
All right.
You
So
know?
back, I got a off the topic of health insurance a second. I got an important question for you because everybody asks me all the time, and apparently, 80-20 split with your carrier is a ripoff. Why are you letting your carrier rip you off so bad?
They're not ripping me off at all, man. I've been doing this 8 months. The amount of money that allegedly I have made is very comparable to like I said, I feel like being on an 80-20 split, I'm doing better being on that split than I would out on my own. And I have no hidden fees in my contract with the carrier that I work for. We were talking about the trailer earlier. I don't pay any trailer fees. I have my normal things. I pay my IFTA, my plate, and $22.90. That is all that my carrier takes out of my check. And the way that I operate is I usually just pay for that up front. So the only thing that comes out of my check on a weekly basis is my fuel. And I try and have that be as low as possible.
Now people tell me that it can't be done. What's that?
What I said, thanks to fuel locks, I keep my fuel costs down.
Well, you're on the fuel locks, huh?
I am.
Okay. Wait, time out. Okay, so give me your unsolicited. I'm just gonna sit back and listen for a second. Give me your unsolicited opinion of that, because people don't believe me. Go. It might be bad. I might be setting myself up here. So sorry. I hope not. Go ahead.
So I use the fuel catalyst, the fuel additive, and the friction eliminator in my oil. And
Okay.
in the summer months, so I started this right in springtime. I've noticed a dramatic increase in my miles per gallon. I mean, a dramatic increase. I believe my first IFTA was like 5.5 miles a gallon. My second quarter IFTA was 7.2 miles a gallon. I have noticed greater power in my truck. My truck already has, I run a Mack. It already has good torque, but I have noticed an increase in power in my truck. And it doesn't seem to run as hard as it used to, if that makes sense. If I'm just idling, it's a quiet idle. I couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. It does cost some money, but I believe in the long run, it's saving me thousands of dollars.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
I'm just listening. I'm not going to say one word. I'm just listening to what you have to say, not injecting my opinion. I think that 5.5 to 7.2 is a I wouldn't make the claim that all came from fuel locks. That's a pretty substantial difference. Now, have you done other things also in addition?
Not really. I mean, I've learned how to drive my truck, I guess. I don't always leave it on cruise control. Sometimes I'm using my foot, I'm watching my boost, but I really haven't changed very much. I've just added, so I'll say this. I do double dose my fuel additive. So I'm usually always putting in an ounce to an ounce and a half in both fuel tanks.
How big are your fuel tanks?
I carry 220 gallons of fuel.
Okay.
But no. I'm not.
Usually the Max have like 125s per tanks, don't they?
Yeah, so that'd be 250.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So happy with the results?
I am happy with the results, but like I said, I do double dose it. The directions will say, to use half an ounce, and I'll pour in an ounce, and sometimes I'll even do an ounce and a half.
You said Sorry, go ahead.
I believe it's working.
You said you're using the infinity loop. Where are you using it?
In my rear ends and in the oil reservoir.
Okay. Happy? Not happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. Truck runs great. I don't have any complaints, and I believe it's working.
Have you noticed any difference in your def, your regen type situation?
So I bought my truck 8-9 months ago, and I have never had to do a parked regen.
Okay.
I believe that is a little abnormal. I actually have asked people if that is normal, because every other truck I drove when I was a company driver, I was always doing parked regens. And sometimes it was in the middle of a load and I'd have to find an exit ramp and sit there for 45 minutes. And
what's your idle time like? That has a lot to do with it. What about idle time?
So I have an APU on my truck. I don't idle it. I don't idle it at all. Maybe.
Have you always had the APU?
Nope. I just put the APU on back in June, I think, June or July. And even then, I mean, I idled in the winter. Last winter I had to idle to stay warm. And then this summer, before I got the APU put on, I didn't idle. I just had a bunch of fans in my truck and sweated. It was not comfortable. That's why I spent the money on the APU. But go ahead.
Shameless self-promotion. How do you buy your fuel ox? What do you get any kind of discounts on it?
DIY semi promo code.
There you go.
15%.
All right. You want to stick around for a minute, or you got to bounce?
You know what? I gotta run. I gotta go hang out with my mom and dad.
All right. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey man, thank you for everything you do.
Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Channel member. Thank you.
Yep. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. Momentum Trucking says, do the shippers really reject roll door trailers? Yeah, they will. Yeah. Now with the shortage and they really need to get their stuff moved, they're way more likely to accept a roll door trailer. But Cassius King says, does buying a semi on personal credit kill the benefits of an LLC? Yeah, but little secret, LLC doesn't really give you LLC alone does not give you really much tax benefit. If you're talking about the liability, LLC does not really protect you that much. So, and besides the way most people operate their LLC, they're killing that veil of protection anyway by commingling funds and all kinds of things. So, yeah, I mean, officially, yes, you're right, but I still would not. Still just do the right thing for the business. Yeah. A link to the emergency release exemption. Did they expend it? Did they extend it? You got tell me. I gotta know. I got to know. Okay, talking more about roll doors. Miss Ma'am Tube, does California require small 1 to 3 truck operations to do business with an LLC, or is it incorporation required? I don't. California regulations are foreign to me. California's got wacky sets of rules, and I do not know. Kelly's Kitchen, thanks for coming in. She says, get a CPA that knows trucking. Best advice. Thank you. Atkins, didn't think you were picking on me, just truly was curious and trying to still learn. Yeah, excellent. That's what we're all about here. If you borrow money, you pay it back. Yeah, you're paying it back one way or another. Cash King says, Kenworth is laying off an estimated 350 people. That plant is known for large layoffs. They lay them off, then bring them back later. Rinse and repeat. They laid off 500 last year. Wow. That's some big layoffs there. All right. Guillaume N. I think I nailed it. Did I say that right? Is it a good idea to lease a truck? big question there. I will say this, and this is merely my personal opinion. I'm sure somebody will disagree or have a problem. Leasing a truck, if you're talking like a Penske lease or a Ryder lease, I believe that is one of the most expensive ways to own and operate a truck. It is expensive. They hit you for that mileage maintenance. You go over your mileage, there's an over mileage fee. You're going to be talking some real money. I like to own and control my own asset whenever possible. If you're talking about a lease purchase from a large carrier, I feel similarly about that. I think it's an expensive way to own a truck, and you're not controlling your own asset. Less control over your own destiny and your own business. So I'm always in favor of your own when you can. CCCS, I'm a new carrier for 6 months and building business credit through fuel card, gas cards, Home Depot, Lowe's card. Just got my 10 trade lines reporting a few days ago. I got an SBA loan for my equipment. It's good for you. Good. Sounds like you're popping and clicking there. My concern, don't overextend yourself, sir or ma'am, whoever you are. And that's a lot of credit inquiries in 6 months. And this is I guess maybe a hot topic, but I'm not a fan of SBA loans. I don't like to do business with the government. They don't know how to run businesses. They know how to exert force and control. And you're taking an SBA loan, please read the fine print. Please read the fine print. I don't care if it's low interest. I don't care if it's 0%. For me, I don't want an SBA loan. I want to stand on my own 2 feet. Will I end up paying more for that privilege? Quite possibly. But you lay down in bed with the government, better be ready to take some of those stipulations. I know somebody, a farmer who took a government loan to put in a very expensive manure pit for his farm. Did not read the fine print and found out later that he pretty much gave up all the rights to his farm. They would tell him when and where he could spread his manure and nutrient management program, when and where he had to plant his crops, and what kind of crops he would plant. So make sure you're not getting into details like that. Jonathan Seidel says, I'm in charge of a smaller fleet of Kenworths. I'm having a hell of a time getting any parts. Weeks to months, any reputable websites, getting parts off of. Oh, Jonathan, you got my attention, man. I'm similar problems. It's going to get worse, unfortunately. 4 States trucks, gotten a few things off of there. What else? Just start Googling, man. I guess Google is your friend in that situation. What's the other? Rainey's truck parts. I've seen a lot on Rainey's. I don't buy a lot of truck parts online. I've bought things off of eBay, different things. I got burnt on one of them, but I've bought a few things off of eBay. But stock up, man. Stock up. If it's common parts, NOx sensors are hard to get right now for certain trucks. I don't know what we're supposed to do if we start having NOx sensors fail. You're just supposed to park the truck for a year until you can get a NOx sensor. Like there's a breaking point here somewhere. And it's going to hurt the smaller people worse. It's going to still hurt the bigger guys, but it's going to hurt smaller people disordinately. Let's see here. I'm just going to keep going as long as you guys are hanging in there. I'm having a good old time. I really am. I thank everybody for coming in. I'll post that link one more time if anybody wants to come in and ask a question or talk about anything in particular. Just ask, you have something to say, and show your face. Jose says, as an owner operator, I get a 1099. What would I use and do when I start my authority at the end of the year? I don't necessarily know that I understand the question. What would you use for what? Maybe clarify that for me a little bit. Cash is King channel member says, chip shortage. Let me check my pantry. You go on, buddy. Bring the salsa. Tolga's got to go. Thanks for coming in. Alex Express channel member says, I'm waiting for engine diagnosis now from Volvo. I will know tomorrow. I'm very afraid to hear it. Oh man, I'm sorry you're having engine problems, man. That's not good. What advice? Aaron Sandoval says, what advice can you give a young owner breaking his first year? Boy, that's a big question. Probably the biggest thing, and I think you're probably right on track here with the questions you ask, is run it like a business. Run it like a business. This trucking thing, so many people run it like a hobby. Run it like a business. The opportunity, I can't think of another line of work where the opportunity, in perspective of the education you have to have or the abilities you have to have, where you have the opportunity to make so much money, starting from, just taking a 3-week driving school. Run it like a business. Continue to educate yourself on taxes, everything, insurance. Keep good records. Keep a profit and loss statement. Always look for ways to cut costs. Now, obviously, don't cut out needed maintenance. Look for ways, for instance, to buy fuel cheaper. Always be looking for ways to buy tires cheaper. Obviously, keep in mind rolling resistance. Along with that, just be on a quest for knowledge. Get focus on running a really efficient operation and getting those efficiencies down so you can get your cost per mile as low as you can get it. Honestly, in this time, there's a lot of room for error. There's tons of room for error, but why wouldn't you want to just run an efficient business? The rest of that money becomes more profit. And then besides, if things turn around or it turns into last year like we had, you're already running an efficient business with a great cost per mile. You're good to go. You're slide right in there and survive. Yeah, this as a young owner operator, just be hungry for knowledge, man. Just don't learn it at the truck stop counter. Most of that's nonsense. Don't worry about having pretty chrome and blah blah blah. That's something you do after you've been in it a long time and just you wanna reward yourself. But in the beginning, get the business part down. Cavalry says, I just spent over $19,000 on preventive maintenance on my used truck I purchased last year. Well, I got you beat on that, my friend. I think my first year I spent like $42,000. It was the first year I had that orange truck I got now. Adco's got a 2016 Cascadia for sale. Nice. If anybody needs a truck. Do new authorities get more roadside inspections? You're gonna get some with the new authority. You're not eligible for pre-pass. That's one thing until you have so many inspections. So, what really brings in the roadside inspections is, are you rolling down the road looking like a ragged junk box? It's really, appearances, they matter. You have to be shiny and pretty all the time. No, but you got to look like your truck is in good repair. No bungee cords holding the fenders on. No duct tape holding stuff on. Look presentable. In trucking, you don't make $200K in salary. In trucking, we hope to wish to make any kind of money. It's not guaranteed due to many uncontrollable external factors. Yeah, that's a lot of truth in that. East Texas trucker in the house. Thanks for stopping in. You're late to the party. There's a $300 late fee. Just use that super chat button down there. Just teasing. Alex, channel member, says some of these brokers and dispatchers have special connections. They know exactly what to say. Sometimes it's hard to catch them. Yeah, you're gonna have that in anything. Nick G says there's a 2% tax for dealing with me. That's low. I'd pay that. I think my rate might be 10%. Well, thank you, Adco. That's a compliment. Straight shooters, appreciate it. Let's see. Nick G, here Kelly's Kitchen says Nick G DIY has a tax like that as well. Yep, she would know. She's imposed that tax on me. I have to pay her money to deal with me. That's a steep price. Steep price. Skinny Peter says, I've seen your guest before. I think he was on America's Most Wanted. He might have been. Oh, what else we got? What is the life period of a reefer unit? Well, it all depends on how you take care of it. You know, 10, 15,000 hours is nothing. Around 15 or so, you might put a 15, 20, you might put a new compressor on. Reefer units will last a long time if you take care of them. I've seen personally a few units with 40,000 hours on them. Now they were pretty ragged. They're pretty ragged. Still running, still cooling. I don't know that I would personally keep one that long. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of hours, and you got a responsibility with freight and freight claims. And to keep your equipment on a good cycle to minimize claims and such. Let's see here. Looking for some more questions here. Daryl Worth says Obamacare raised their income qualifications. He's 53 and only pays $300 for the wife and I. Congratulations. That is a really good rate. Miss Mom says, my grandson works 3 jobs for little money. A good young man, never been in trouble in truck driving school. I purchased a 2014 Volvo day cab. Do you lease California drivers? I am unable to take on somebody just out of driving school. My apologies, but insurance company rules the roost, and they require a minimum of 2 years experience. Besides, my trailers all but I have one that meets California emissions. The rest of them do not, so I'm not able to really do business in California. Calvary Trucking says because the trucks can now do a passive regen while driving. Yes, Calvary, he's referring to the driver not doing parked regens. That is true, but sometimes you get such soot buildup and other whatnots going on. The truck cannot do efficiently a regen going down the road sometimes. If there's a problem, it will request a parked regen. The fact that a truck is doing all its regens efficiently going down the road is a really good sign of a well-functioning emission system. I think I'm going to keep in touch with that guy and see how long he actually goes before he needs a parked regen. Alex says, so it's 100 plus per PM on the oil change by adding the Infinity Lube liquid. I don't know I've never worked out the dollar amount. After the first change, you're cleaning things up, hopefully breaking down sludge and deposits. After the first one, they recommend you can stretch your oil changes out. If you're running a bypass system, you should be good longer. Go buy your oil samples. It'll bring the cost for that down if you're even if you're extending your oil change by 5,000 miles. If you're comfortable with that, do some testing for yourself. I recommend you run an oil sample on every time you change the oil. See where it's coming back. Maybe by using a product, you can stretch out your oil changing intervals, and I actually believe you can. I run a bypass anyway, so it doesn't matter. That oil stays in there. Extra $100 means very little on an oil change. Alex gets it. LLC will only protect you to some extent if you are a fleet. Solo drivers can get their corporate veil pierced. Yes, very easily. Very easily. J Doll says all lease is stupid. Just be patient, save money, buy cash. It's. I don't want to be that harsh. I mean, everybody has their own situation, but yeah, I mean, buying for cash is always a great way to go. You won't pay any interest, that's for sure. He says he's done that. People don't want to wait. Yeah, that's to each his own. I get it. Calvin James says, will Landstar take a percentage from a carrier? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If you get a load through Landstar brokerage, they definitely take a percent. They're able to take whatever they can get away with, basically. Oh, Lawrence, thank you. $10 super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mighty kind of you. Ricky Time says, is it a good idea to get your own authority with truck payments? I don't really find that as much of a factor. I mean, obviously, the less debt you're in is a better situation. I wouldn't say it would preclude you from getting your own authority, or that it should. Just make sure you can handle all the expenses that you might not encounter if you are, leased onto somebody now that you have your own authority. Insurance is going to be higher, et cetera, et cetera. There's different taxes to pay. Compliance costs money, things like that. You may lose some of your discounts you had leased on with a carrier. Although, I do put out some information on some pretty good discounts on things. It wouldn't necessarily make me do it or not do it. I would just want to make sure it's something I can easily manage that payment. But I always encourage people start from a position of strength, and there's no stronger position than being debt free. But you got to get in where you fit in, Calvin James says the EIDL SBA loan becomes a partnership on your business for the loan. Yeah, I don't know much about those EIDL loans. I won't even look into them or talk about them because it's just not an option for me. And if that is true, if you're taking on the government as a partner, that is the last thing I would want in my business. Work on preventive maintenance. Don't wait for stuff to go bad. Buy belts, filters, sensors, airbags. I stay stocked. That's good advice. I also do something similar. Quality High Record says, hey, brother, I have a new authority. What do you think about a new authority just sending carrier packets to shippers as well as brokers for the first 3 months before actually running freight? Brokers, I wouldn't have a problem doing it with. That's just what you do. You got to fill out a carrier packet. Shippers, I wouldn't go that route. I don't think you'll have any success doing that. Let me start there. And you could actually, in a roundabout way, hurt yourself. Having done it, talked to shippers, and gone that route, it's a different conversation. It's a delicate conversation. Most likely they will throw your packet in the garbage. What you would want to do first is introduce yourself, maybe with a phone call, if you can get to the person you need to talk to. Be prepared for a lot of no's before you hear some yeses. But they get things in the mail all the time. They're just going to file it right in the garbage. And it's impersonal. It doesn't show that you care anything about their needs or bothering to find out what they need, what they care about, what they have available if they need people. You need to show them that you care about their problems and helping to solve them. And I don't think that's a good way to do it. Sorry to say that. The brokers, on the other hand, they don't care. They just send them your packet, get signed up with them. It's a totally different scenario. Not if you blow it with one broker, there's 10 more around the corner. Shippers, you need to know. I would recommend just be in business for a little bit, more than 3 months. We talk a lot about direct shipper freight on this channel. Watch those videos. I think you'll start to see you're a new authority. You don't even know what you can deliver to them yet. You don't know what kind of service you can provide to them. Okay. You have to figure out your business before you try to help them with theirs. Now, how long does that take? Depends on you. Maybe in 6 months you got it down. You know where you can run, what you can get for backhauls, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you already got that all figured out. I don't know. This is a very generic question, but I would say that's maybe not the right way to go about it. Watch all the videos I did with Paul from Freight Connect on that topic, and you'll kind of start to pick up on that. Would be my best advice to you. Let's see here. Antonio says, I'm looking to buy my first truck. What semi would you recommend to me to do dirt haul? And if that don't work out, I would move to Reefer. Well, those are very different operations. Dirt haul, you're looking for more like a vocational truck set up to do vocational work. They're, typically a lot of people use Max for vocational trucks. because they're known for being just bulletproof for that, for off-roading, things like that. Reason why you see a lot of your logging trucks and people that go off-road using a Mac. They have a very good reputation for that. Moving to Reefer, you're talking about an over-the-road operation. I'd say put a little more thought into what you want to do. Now, they can translate. You can very well use either truck for both. I don't think I would take an over-the-road truck and put it to work in an off-road scenario like hauling dirt, but you could take an off-road vocational truck, put it to work hauling freight. It's not going to be very efficient. Put some more thought into that before you make an investment like that. Find out what the numbers are and really narrow it down. It's a big giant decision. If you got an over-the-road truck, you want it to be efficiently set up for over-the-road, and I kind of fear that you wouldn't have that going on. Yeah, Paul Harris saw a truck running down I-95 with bungee cords holding the steps and battery box. Yeah, that's going to get you an inspection. I would inspect a truck like that. Samuel, what's a good number for take-home weekly after all expenses per truck? As a non-driver, just a owner. That's an unanswerable question. I'll be honest with you. It really is. Everybody's scenario is going to be different. I mean, if you can make a couple thousand a month off of each truck, you did really good. I've admitted in the past there's months where I lose money. Last month I lost money. Sometimes you just have a crap show rain down on you for 3 weeks solid. You gotta be prepared to do with that. You might buy tires every day for 9 days, or have equipment go down. Numerous things. Figure out what you need over the course of the year. I mean, you're just getting started. You honestly do the best that you can. Sometimes things happen. I'm not trying to dodge your question, but I'm certainly not. I don't give out my numbers. I speak in generalities because it's private. It's my business. Cavalry says he just spent. Well, there you go. He just spent 19,000 last week. He spent over 50,000 so far this year. There you go. He knows very well what I'm talking about then. Quality High Record says, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm looking for a relationship with distributors and shipper bypassing brokers. Well, that's a good place to do it. Los Angeles is loaded with freight. I mean, I don't know. Are you talking like port work or tons of that, drayage? There's all kinds of opportunity in the Los Angeles area. You're gonna find something. Samuel says, what are the annual maintenance costs for an average truck? Once again, that's going to vary. I would encourage you to set aside a certain amount per mile. Start there. If you're like over the road, find an amount per mile that you can set aside. A really common amount. Not saying it's right or wrong. It's going to be different for everybody. A common amount that people put away is like 12 cents a mile. That should cover a good amount of maintenance. It probably won't cover some of the unexpected things, like if you blow an engine, it's going to be more. But that's not really a maintenance. It's kind of more of a breakdown. It's all maintenance, really, when you look at it. It's whatever you want to call it. The more, the better. You can never put away too much. If you put it away too much, you could spend it on something else. Go right ahead. And it also depends on how old is your truck. Is your truck 10 years old or is it 2 years old? It's a big difference also. If it's 10 years old, 15 years old, you might want to put away 20, 25 cents a mile. If you're anticipating an overhaul, if it's 2 years old, there's not a lot you're going to have to do to it, hopefully. And besides, a lot of it should be covered under warranty. If you start with a brand new truck and you're going to run it for 10 years, and if you averaged out 12 cents a mile over that, if you started putting away 12 cents when that truck was brand new and you never used any of that money until the warranty was up, you'd probably be way so far ahead that 12 cents a mile would carry you all the way through that 10-year period. But where are you starting in, and how old is your truck? I know that's vague, but it's a vague question. Let's see. Geez, 719, do you think I will make out okay with a DPF system on the first truck? Take care of it. Do your regular maintenance. Keep up on maintenance. Is all I can say. It's a crapshoot. Who knows what's inside there? Who knows what it was treated with, before you bought it. Greg says he's in a 2018 Cascadia, the DD13 for about 50,000 miles with no regen so far. That's excellent. That's excellent. Ducking around, leasing a trailer, good. We talked about that earlier. Definitely go back and watch that. We went into that. Oh, let's see. Greg Hayes says, I agree. Adco, I've been all over the tube for info on starting a new trucking business. DIY has integrity and is humble. I can't even read that. I can't say good things about myself. I can't even read it when somebody else does. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I appreciate your kind words there, sir. Now, Alex is doing a lease purchase with an option to buy. I know that, and he's doing okay. How long does leasing a trailer work, and is it good? Well, we covered that. I know you're needing to know. So, leasing a trailer can be great if you need a trailer long, short term. I prefer to own my trailers. It's leasing equipment is usually the most expensive way to own it. Is it good? If it fulfills the purpose you need, then it's good. It can be. It's what you make of it and what your purpose is. Okay, if you need to lease a trailer until you can buy one, then that's what you have to do. Ali says, is it worth to get owner authority planning to run one truck only or stay leased for 20% running reefer, making $200K a year, paying $780 insurance? Are those your only deductions? I mean, I just had a guy on that's on a 80/20 lease, and he's killing it. He's killing it. I know that we've talked off air. Do you want to do all the extra things that come with having your own authority? I think you've watched my video and you know all the things out there. You know that's a lot of them. That's not even all of it. Do you want to do those things? You can hire somebody to do those things, but then you got to account for the money it's going to cost you. So it whittles away, if you're doing really, really well on that, what you're running right now, and you're happy with it, don't only change trying to make more money. Now, if you have always wanted to be independent, it's totally different reason. If you want to build a company, totally different reason. Let's see here. Let's find some more questions. Frederico says, hey, again with the spring trailers topic. So based on the market of trailers right now, do you think it's a good decision to take this 2007 Wabash X Werner for $8K? You might have to. That might be all you're going to get. Dry vans are especially, all trailers are overpriced, but you can buy a junk trailer for 20 grand. It's ridiculous. I would say 8 grand for an 07. It might be the deal for you. Until it doesn't have to be forever. Remember that. It's only eight grand. If you take that trailer out and run it hard for a month, you're going to pay that trailer off in a month. That's literally the market we're in right now. So no, I don't think it's too much. And if it gets you a trailer and gets you in business, so it gives you the opportunity to make that money, I wouldn't be something you could trade in later. You probably take a beating on it if the market turns around. But nothing has to be forever. Next year, you might be able to upgrade. So 8 grand, I wouldn't worry about it. He says they probably have to have 11 on each to have them road ready. I still wouldn't worry about it, honestly. Jeff Smith, do you have to be enrolled in a drug program? You absolutely do. If you have your own authority, you absolutely, even if you are only one guy, you have to have yourself enrolled. Absolutely. And that's, if you get an audit, that is one of the first things they care a great deal about that. Do I have alcohol permits? Where is the best, easiest place to get them? I don't carry like yearly permits. Like ComData has a pretty good permit service. It's cheap and it's fast and it's easy. I'll buy a Jersey alcohol permit. I don't mess with the states where you have to wait for them, like New York or Virginia. Is it Maryland? There's a few states there where they can be difficult to get. I just screw it. There's other freight. But to go ahead and grab a Jersey one for $20 in 10 minutes, I don't really have a problem with that. I've thought about carrying additional ones, and we might get around to it. But right now, I don't need to. The chat jumped on me again a little bit. Hold on, sorry. Grumpy Trucker checking in. Appreciate coming in, sir. How does leasing the trailer work, and is it worth it? We covered that. Let's see here. Which mode has the best future predictability? Dry van, flatbed, reefer. I don't think any of them can be predicted. I mean, a lot of people say reefer because they say, oh, people always got to eat. Well, let me tell you, I'm here to tell you, last year during the lockdowns and stuff, reefer sucked for a period of time. Okay, it got better. It got really good in the fall when things started to reopen and we started to run the catch up freight. It was really good, but everything was really good, and it still is really good. Anybody who can say with certainty, all you can do is rely on the numbers and statistics. Other than that, nobody's crystal ball is any good. Let's see. Tony Horton, can I keep my authority active if I do not run and don't have any trucks insured? Yes, but there's a cost to it. You have to maintain your primary liability in order to have your authority active. The minute you cancel that primary liability, they will deactivate your authority. So you have to consider whether or not it's worth that to you. Now, you can keep your authority and just let it go dormant. You could do a voluntary, what do they call it? Not revocation, but you could turn it off voluntarily, let it go dormant, cancel your insurance, reactivate it later. I don't know what your purpose is for keeping it active, but yes, you can. You can keep the primary liability. Your BLC 3 will stay, and you'll be good to go. What's the best way to compensate a driver? % of gross, pay per mile. It's going to be different for everybody. Percentage is difficult for a company driver, I find, because when freight is paying really good, they're really happy, and if freight turns around, they're probably going to quit because they don't most company drivers don't really take the perspective of understanding that freight moves in a cycle, and all they know is last week I got $1,100 for this load. Now you're telling me it's $600. Screw, I'm not doing it. So expect some of that. I don't know. We need to come up with a new way to pay drivers. I'm in favor of that. This whole scenario of one size fits all is part of the reason we have so many problems in this industry, I think. Do I have the answers? No, but I think everybody needs to work out their own deal. Oh, thank you, Frederico, for $9.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Trucking Like a G says, it was almost impossible for me to find a trailer. I'd have bought that one you're talking about in 2 seconds. Yeah, $8,000, phew, whatever it is. Stick some money into it. Grab that thing. Lawrence Simmons says, I'm not sure if I got a good deal, but I got a 2022 utility dry van for $44K. Good deal or not, you got yourself a trailer. Be happy with that. Be proud of that. It's what I would expect to pay. I think there's probably way more expensive trailers out there, to be honest with you. But last year you probably could have bought that trailer brand new for 28 to 30 grand. Maybe not in the fall, but definitely through the summer. But hey, new reefers last year, you could buy a decked out one for 72 grand. Now you're looking at well over 120. So, vans didn't go up as much as reefers, but any trailer. I don't know what the flatbed market is like, to tell you the truth. I've never really looked for a flatbed trailer here recently, but I imagine their market's kind of jacked up too. Alex says that's a good price. All right, he would know he's a dry van hauler. Antonio says, I was thinking about a KW W900 for the dirt or reefer. Thanks. I like it for the dirt. For the reefer, if you're running over the road, your aerodynamics suck. Perfectly honest with you, it'd be one of the worst aerodynamic trucks on the road. A lot of other things to consider by that. You know, if it's paid for, you know, that's a big thing. You're gonna use a lot of fuel. Be honest with you, they're nice trucks. Don't get me wrong. That's a nice truck, but I like to make money, and to pay $1,500 more a month on fuel for a truck like that versus an efficient truck like a Cascadia or something, or at least an aerodynamic truck. Maybe if you're into Kenworth, maybe you could find yourself an aerodynamic Kenworth, at least. Compromise. There's a compromise everywhere, you know. But if it's your dream, don't let me step on your dream. You go ahead. I'm just throwing options out there. Alex says this year they're more expensive for some reason. They're going up real high. Everything is, Alex. Yes, sir. Gallery added aluminum wheels, tire pressure monitoring system, and skirts. Those are all good. Those are all good improvements. They are. I think I'm caught up on the comments. How about that? Alex says, in some places, especially distribution centers, it can be tight for reefer units if you're hauling it with a long nose truck such as the W9. Yeah, that's true. It can be tight anywhere. Truck stop, some of these tight truck stops. There's tight spots all over the place. I'll drop that link if anybody else wants to come in and ask anything or chat it up. Come on in if you like. Just I'll ask as you show your face, have something to say. Happy to answer any more questions. We covered a lot here tonight. Nomadic Brits, he's got to go, but support the British with the freight race. Oops, wrong comment there. All right, we will do that, sir. Paul Harris says, I see you're doing this live on the fuel island. Yeah, let's go ahead and bounce on over. Where do we want to go? We want to go to the spa. One of my favorite places is the outhouse. We'll do it right here. Live from the outhouse is what I should call this. Samuel wants to know what spot market apps will ship with me day one with new authority. I believe Convoy and Uber, and they're very popular. They'll probably hook you right up. They got a lot of freight, so jump right in on that. I think Amazon. I believe Amazon also, but then you're power only. So I don't know if you have a trailer or not. G Walker says, how did I not get the notification? Oh man, G Walker, you missed a ton. You best go back and catch all this. We solved all the world's problems without you. Sorry about that. Oh, he says it's cavalry, not Calvary. All right. Nick G says, can you touch on the roll-up door subject again, please? Yeah. Okay, so a lot of places won't load a trailer with roll-up doors because of the clearance issue, okay? The opening is not quite as wide because the door frame takes up a little more space, and it's not quite as tall because you have the door goes up into the roof, okay? So you lose, I don't know, on a reefer versus a dry van, you're going to lose a little bit more space, 8, 10, 12 inches, right? If you have an insulated door, and plus that door frame on the top hangs down a little farther, okay? So you're dealing with a smaller opening. And not only that, but you're going down the road. You ever follow one of those P&D drivers down the road, watching that roll-up door do this? You know, in a lot of scenarios, a roll-up door doesn't seal as tight. If that's a reefer, you can't have that. Okay, but it's mostly the clearance issue for loading it. A lot of places can't deal with that. But trucks are in such demand right now. A lot of places are working with you on that. So they've become lax in their rules. I don't know when the last time is I had somebody look at the age of a trailer. You know, in the reefer business, or food grade trailers, they want 10 years or less, or is it 10 or is it 12? I can't remember. Whatever it is, I can't remember the last time I had somebody come out and check the age of a trailer. They're so desperate for trucks and trailers, they'll load about anything at this moment. But the moment this is over, you might be stuck with a trailer with roll up doors that a lot of places won't load. I think that's ridiculous. I think most places that refuse to load a trailer with roll up doors, I think they very well could load that trailer. They just don't want to. This is my opinion. Because when you look, if you're loading food or something that's palletized, unless you got big tall rolls of paper or big tall stacks of something light, most of these palletized loads could very well fit on a roll up door trailer with no problem. They just don't want to. So now that being said, you can buy roll up door trailers for a song and a dance right now. You can get them cheap, and you usually always can. But right now they're available, so a lot of guys are buying them. I know Call Me Cooley picked up one or two or a couple or something, but he's got places that'll load them. So that's a good deal. You're getting the best of both worlds: a cheap trailer and freight to go on it. WC Finvader says, "Shoot, I wish I knew where he got that trailer. $44K for a dry van new. I wish I could find one myself, but at least I got an employer I can stay with till trailers come back in stock." Yeah, some things you can't get at any cost. That's very much a reality. One with God says, "Please, how do you send carrier package to the brokers?" I did a video a while back on how I manage documents from the truck. To fill them out, I carry a tablet. Right here's when I'm in the truck, I carry a tablet. It's just easier to see and manage documents on. And plus, if you're typing and fat finger and things, to fill out packets, I use an app called Adobe. Adobe Fill and Sign. Fill and Sign is what I use there. You can fill in any documents and then email them off. So that's what I do to do that. They'll send me a packet. I'll bring it up in Adobe and I'll fill it out, type it, and send it on back. Easy. And then if I want a copy for myself, I'll email it to myself, or what I can do is email it to my printer at home and print it right off. So if I want to print out all my rate confirmations, as I'm sending it back to the broker, I CC my printer and it'll print right here. Or I'll email it to myself and then put it in a print later file, and we're good to go. Let's see here. Robert Norero just jumped on. I'm enjoying listening to you. Black Range Transport Express. Well, welcome. Ooh, that's a sharp looking Pete you got there. Day cab, it looks like. Nice truck you got there. Thanks for coming on in. Angel A, best place to buy a new trailer. You're gonna have to shop that around. Good luck in even getting one right now. Wabash, if you're in Wabash, down in Lafayette, Indiana, you can buy direct from Wabash. They sell used trailers too. What they'll do is take trailers on trade, and then they'll run them through and refurbish them. Sell them as, well, not necessarily refurbished, but they'll go through them and put them on their lot, and they sell used trailers right off their factory lot. Wabash does. I don't think any of the other ones do that, but you're gonna have a hard time finding a new trailer right now. You're gonna probably have to order it. And good luck. I wish you all the best. If you find some, let us all know, because there's a lot of us looking for trailers right now. Paul Harris says, if you run Amazon, don't do your 30 on the side of the road. But you never want to do your 30 on the side of the road. But was Amazon touchy about that? Or I don't know much about Amazon. So there's something I should know. Let me know. 360 Moto says, car hauler or step deck. Let me tell you something. There is money in car hauling. I tell you what. I have a very good friend that does it, and they murder it. It is insane what car haulers make. But it's not an easy job. That's a tough job, and it takes a certain kind of person to have the courage to drive them cars on and off. I don't know if I could do it. And doing it in bad weather and getting cars with dead batteries or cars that don't run, just it's not an easy job, but the money is great in car hauling. Step deck, I've done step deck. The money can be good there too. It's once again, it's not an easy job. It's hard physical work. So I've done step deck, but not car hauling. Almost got into it, but decided it wasn't something I wanted to do. Alex says maybe the roll-up doors aren't covered by insurance since they are most susceptible to defects that can cause major injuries. Also, maybe freight claims. If that door is doing this going down the road, it's going to let water in. Things are going to get wet. Calvin James says, I like convoy power only. They let you keep the trailer up to 2 days after you drop off a load and can use the trailer to make money unrestricted before turning it in. Okay. That's something I have not done. Let's see here. Cavalry says, Cobble Hill sent them an email a few weeks ago on trailers, 6 2022s, 19 2023s, and there's his phone number. I'm not going to read it because I don't know what I'm reading there. I trust you, though, to have it there. Paul Harris says paper companies were limited to 10 years. Yes. They want paper quality trailers 10 years or newer. Even there, a lot of them are waiving that right now. Amelia Trucking says, what do you think about getting your trailers from a salvage auction? You can still get insurance if it's salvage or rebuilt title. Buying equipment from an auction is risky. I've always kind of been of the thought that an auction is where you sell equipment, not where you buy it. Because a whole lot of people, if they got something with a major problem, they just send that sucker to auction. I have 2 friends that got burnt that way. But not to say that you can't, auction is also where they take repos sometimes. So deals can be had. I mean, it's not out of the question. Salvage, I don't know. Make sure you can get a title, make sure it's salvageable, and you can get a title for it, that it's not too far gone. Plus, you got to consider how much you got to stick into it versus just buying a trailer that's already road ready. Weigh it out. Maybe you do the work yourself. That saves a lot, makes it more practical. Strange question, but could you convert a roll-up to a swing door? You'd have to change that whole rear structure. That rear structure is different, and I don't know how much that would cost. So much money that would probably not be worth it unless you had no other option. Paul Harris says, aren't Walmart and Publix mostly roll up? Yes, Paul, but Walmart hauls only their own freight. They're a private carrier. They do not peddle freight for other people. And plus, Walmart tells places what trailers they will load. When a Walmart truck shows up, they load it, right? So the shipper receiver has no options. And if they don't load it, they don't buy the product. Publix, I don't really know. We don't have any Publix around here. Ritchie Brothers Auctions have trailers. They do. I was going to go look at some trailers, reefers at a Ritchie Brothers, but they wouldn't let me on the property to do a pre-auction inspection because you had to have an appointment, and it was all the whole social distancing crap and blah blah blah. So I just said screw it. Plus, I watched the auction, and those trailers ended up going for more than the last trailer I bought from the dealer. I'm like, no, not sight unseen. There's a discount for sight unseen, not paying full boat retail. So screw. I'm glad I didn't. Let's see, step deck or flatbed. We already covered that. Maurice says, just bought a truck to lease onto a company. No plates, no authority. Need a few more minor repairs. Will the police give me problems going to and from the mechanic? Not if they're decent people. Honestly, technically, they very well could. They could. You can get, from your state, from most states, like a 30-day temporary or 30-day bobtail. A lot of states will do that. Some won't give anything. But you're not yet, if it's not permitted, plated, or leased on, you're technically not yet a commercial vehicle. You could maybe claim private use, but that's a little shady. Find out from your state what you can get along the lines of like a bobtail permit. Just it might be $35, and then you don't have to worry about it. Unless, I don't know, if you live in the middle of nowhere, you got to just weigh out the risk reward, I guess. I know what I would do. G Walker says insurance for a car hauler is up there. I heard, but from what you're saying, they can afford it. Yes, they can. I went and as far as got an insurance quote on car hauling for myself. The premium was going to be an extra $2,500 a year. That's all. When I told other people that in the business, they're like, that's insanely low. It was for a 5-car hauler. So it will jump up, when you go to a 7-car or a 9-car or what do they call it? A stinger. Well, you're going to jump up little by little. Plus, are you hauling used cars or are you hauling brand new Teslas or BMWs? That makes a difference. Are you having $800,000 worth of units on there, or are you having 60,000? Big difference also. Let's see. Paul Harris says, many Amazon trucks park on the side of the road. 75% of the trucks I pass are Amazon trailers, just sitting with no triangles out. Yeah, that will get pinched eventually, probably. No, they won't pick on them. They'll go into the truck stop on private property and find somebody with a flat tire and pick on him. I don't know if y'all saw that video. I would have trouble keeping my composure if somebody did that to me. A DOT cop came on private property where a guy had a flat tire and he was in line to get that tire fixed. They came on private property and cited him for it. I don't even know how that can stand. Let's see here. Where else are we at here? What about hauling containers? Have you had any experience with them? Does it pay well? I have not. I know in Southern California, the guy to talk to about that would be a channel called VicMed, VIC, and then space MED. He's down in Southern California, and he has a ton of experience with that. I know right now, in today's world, they're paying well. Does it pay like that all the time? I do not know. I do not know. But he's a wealth of information on that. Check him out. Virgil says, I just bought a truck, got my authority, but no trailer. Any suggestions for power only? I don't know. People love Amazon. I've never tried it. I had a scenario a couple weeks ago where I had a trailer down for some repairs. And I'm like, well, the driver can sit, or I don't have a spare right now. I'll try putting him to work for JB Hunt Power Only for a week. What a damn disaster that was. I will never do that again. Screw them people. Talked with them, worked out the pay. It was okay. What was it going to be, like $225 a mile or something like that? I'm like, all right, that'll do for a week. Send them out. Call JB Hunt. Like, call back tomorrow morning. We'll tell you where to get an empty. Call back. They sent them 110 miles for an empty trailer. Wasn't an empty trailer there. So their next best solution was to send them, bobtail them 250 miles, another 250 miles for an empty trailer. I'm like, oh, I don't think we're having that. I told the driver, I said, ask for some compensation. They said, no, we can't offer any compensation. I said, well, then you can keep your damn power only. And I hear that's a common problem. Like, they will send you all over God's green earth looking for empties rather than, I don't know, verify where they actually have some. I have a problem with that. I did for a few weeks. I did a Schneider, whatever. What do they call it? I don't know. It was a power only, whatever. That wasn't bad. I just wanted to try it for a little bit. It wasn't too bad, but I had different deals going on. Some of the brokers, I don't know, like the convoy power only. There was a guy in here says doing it, says he loves it. I looked into it in my area. Like, they don't have any trailers in my area, and I don't think 2 days is enough time to get back all the time. What if you can't find a backhaul going to where you need to go? Do you have to come back empty to get that trailer back on time, or do you have to, get as close as you can in deadhead 500 miles to get that trailer back to where it needs to go? That comes out of your rate per mile. So I imagine different areas of the country are going to work, differently for that. And I'm close to a lot of JB Hunt freight. Like, they have two big drop yards not far from me, but they're trying to send this all over the countryside for empties. But at any rate, you look for something that's prevalent close to you. Oh, geez, that's funny. That's funny. Is there any drawbacks to hauling reefer? Yeah, man, it sucks. I mean, the money is good, but you're gonna have nighttime deliveries. You're gonna have long load and unload times. If you're not used to listening to that reefer behind you while you're sleeping, there's a whole nother level of responsibility with freight claims and maintaining temperatures. The reefer trailers are more expensive. What else am I thinking of here? Some people can't stand dealing with the lumper issue. A lot of things like that. Middle of the night deliveries. A lot of it. There's a lot of middle of the night work, so a lot of people don't like that. There's definitely some downsides. There's upsides too. The money is typically better. That's a pretty good upside. Do shippers have any restrictions for older trucks? Some can. It's more likely for trailers. A lot of them are 10 years or newer, 12 years or newer. Trucks, not quite as restrictive. Cash had a different twist on the DOT officer. Did they see them driving with a defective tire? Well, obviously, yes, then that's different. The way it was presented, I don't know that was the case. Maybe they were driving on the opposite side of the highway and turned around and found them parking. I guess I don't understand that, but I don't know. I just think the guys seem to have a bit of an attitude problem. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. He was on private property. The guy obviously wasn't moving when he pulled up. Was he? Did they follow him off the road? Maybe. Then that's different. You're right. We didn't see the whole scenario, but even if he did, I mean, the guy's obviously getting it fixed. He's. I don't know. It appeared he had proof that he was in line to get it fixed. I don't know. He didn't continue to drive like that. He was making an attempt to get it fixed. Maybe, the guy's obviously making a legitimate attempt to get his equipment repaired. Maybe just give him a verbal warning. I don't know. It seemed like an overreach to me. What else we got here? Can DOT get you for an oil leak violation during a PM? That's very good. That's very good. Hey, anything's possible, I suppose. They just park outside the Speedco. They make all kinds of money that day, wouldn't they? Paul Harris said he drove a 600-mile deadhead out of Florida. He's a company driver. Half was bobtail looking for a dry van. Damn it, boy. YouTube fan. I think I know who this is. Jonathan, I think that's you. Let's see here. Trucking like a G. Amazon Relay is easy to sign up for, but you need $50K non-owned trailer insurance. It's like trailer interchange. Yes, but that non-owned trailer insurance is cheap. It's cheap. The reefer money typically more by how much? Market swings. I'm telling you, sometimes they pay equal. I've seen times when reefer pays slightly less, but right now, I don't know, 15, 20% more. But driver end rates are killing it right now, man. Everything's killing it right now. The rules are out the windows. They really are. Alex says, if you are literally inside of a repair shop, they cannot get you. It depends on if they saw you in a scale. Well, under a DOT inspection, that's different. They said he was sitting there for an hour. Yeah, then I can't imagine that they would have seen him going down the road. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think it could have been handled differently. Like, they have discretion. Okay, if you see somebody willfully being negligent, is way different than seeing somebody trying to do the right thing and get their tire fixed. They have the discretion to handle that in a different fashion, and they didn't. So, shame on them. Samuel says, would those restrictions be for all trailers? Leniency for flatbed, no holes. Every shipper receiver has the right to set their own rules. I think like Kraft has what is Kraft? A 10-year rule on trailers, I believe, or 12-year. Whereas somebody in the same industry, like, I'm trying to pick somebody who doesn't, that I know of, like Nestle, they have restrictions. Somebody else in the food industry might have no restriction. So most of their food grade is food grade. No holes, no floor, no damage in the floor. It can't be dirty, no broken glass. It's all over the board. It's there is no standard for the most part. Let's see here. Alex says, during a PM inspection, if you have an oil leak, you will not pass. You will have a certain amount of time to get it fixed, then come back for the PM free of charge. No, Alex, I think he was making a joke that while they're draining your oil, you could get a ticket for an oil leak. I think he was making a joke. Paul Harris is at Walmart now with a reefer load. Appointment time is 12:15. Let's see how long. It's from Walmart in California. Maybe no lumper. Shouldn't be a lumper at Walmart there. Let's see here. Jason B says, what would you consider the major regional hubs across the country for a new authority to make their head base, assuming dry van? I mean, all things start in Chicago. It's a massive major hub. Memphis is a really good one. Kansas City, St. Louis. You got a lot of freight out of St. Louis, the Midwest. Let's see here. Those would probably be my major. Minneapolis. Let's see. Those would probably be my first choices right there. Major freight areas. Artie says, can you do a video on what and when does the company have to pay forms, permits, IFTA? I believe I've done that. If not, I'll work on it. But yeah. All right. I think my voice is starting to let me down here. We're going on 4 hours. Well, not quite 4 hours, but well, thanks for everybody coming in. I think I'm gonna end it here, and make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Appreciate everybody thanks everybody for the super chats. Thanks for all the good channels coming in support. And maybe we'll do it again next time if we have more questions, but we'll definitely start trying to do more live streams. This is a good one. And care. This time.